loud Yinzers kicking through the door. Loud like a jag off at a pins game fight. Brace yourself, this ride ain't polite. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Rivers collide where the laughs always flow. Black and gold thunder everywhere they go. The madcap kings breaking every mold. With two Dum Yinzers, the stories don't get old. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to the show. This is episode 937 of the Two Dum Yinzers. I want to say to everybody today, welcome back. Glad to see everybody. I'm just sitting here laughing. I'm reading the board because Cody's already going off on Mike and his love for Penn State. He says,
"How many times do I have to tell him I'm a rabid Indian Hoosier fan?"
Mike, he says this. He says, "I seen Mike's bumper sticker. Penn State butts drive him nuts."
I mean, have you seen the co-eds there? The cheerleaders, the volleyball.
From what I understand, the women there have nothing to worry about. It's
it's unfortunately the small children and the
boys.
professor's dogs.
Yeah, so there you go. Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, wherever you may be tuning in from. Welcome back. Glad to see you on today's installment of the Two Dum Yinzers. It is Tuesday. We're just 23 days out from the NFL draft. Unbelievable. Great to see everybody this morning. Michael, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm fantastic. I worked. I'm ready for my counseling, so I'm good to go.
All right. And then in the bottom, of course, unless Derpy deflated today on the show, of course, is my man, my favorite, RB. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing all right. I'm retarded, but I'm not that retarded.
That's a special cut. Like, we're all kind of retarded. That's why we all kind of gravitated to each other. But Derpy's a different kind.
Yeah.
That's like King Retard.
Welcome, everybody. A few things before we get started. I do want to say there's rumors, Mike. There's rumors. I was talking to Finch the other day, and there's actually rumors that the Three Gooners show might be coming back on Friday evenings, which I'll be super excited about. I like that show a lot. I like Tim. If Tim's involved, and Finch, I think it's going to be great, as it was before. I was a big fan. So that is just a little bit of a rumor going around. That would be awesome if that does go down, but Finch's work schedule may allow him to get more involved, and that would be great. So the Three Gooners, keep your eyes open to see if you see that tortilla on the board says he's retired. He says he's retated. Good afternoon, everybody. Also, what else do we got? A couple other things here. Chop, I see, going to see if he was going to be on, but Chop is busy installing a $1.2 million patio or something like this. He's he's one of these landscapers, I guess, and I don't know exactly what it is that he does, but he says, you know what, I would, but it was on a $1.2 million job. So I guess that's an okay reason to not be here.
I guess so.
Finally, guys. I hate it. You know I hate it, Mike, and I said that I hated it yesterday. I hate this picture that was taken of us Saturday when we were at the bar. When we were in the PGH Steely. Well, you know how I hated it yesterday because I didn't think it made me look too, as beautiful as I really am. So I seen yesterday, he puts it up on his Facebook page, and you know what? You know what he did? Well, apparently he lost like 150 pounds since this time last year. And he used our picture to show how skinny he is now. So it isn't that the picture just made me have a big fat lumpy ass where I have no ass at all. He has us in the picture that we have. There's a picture of him when he's real heavy, and then the picture of now, and makes him look even skinnier because we're not little guys. But now I hate I hate the picture with all my heart. There's nothing more I hate more than that picture right now, and I just wish it would go away. But there you go, Mike. 17,000 followers he has. I wish that picture could have been better, but what are you gonna do?
You know what? I'm happy with the way I look in that picture because this is who I am. You take it or you fucking leave it.
You are a cheese, and you look merry as hell in that picture, though. So I mean,
I was 3 sheets to the wind. I was high. I was having the time of my life.
Everybody wants to see the picture. If Mike pulls it up, we'll look at it, but not for we won't stare at it or anything. We'll just pull it up and check it out real quick. Welcome everybody. Let me get to the board. I want to say what's up to everybody before we do get started. RB, how you doing, my brother? The draft is just right around the corner, 3 weeks and 2 days away. Things kind of seem to sort of change as the past week since the last time we spoke to you have come around. Some new revelations that Mike McCarthy is saying we have no problem. We're happy to go after a quarterback in the draft. How you been, man? And what's your overall summary of what's been going on in all regards to the draft?
I've been pretty good. A lot of what you're getting now is lip service. I don't think much has changed.
Okay.
I still think you got to go trenches early. I mean, yeah, I don't like the quarterback situation any more than anybody else, but there's nobody in this draft that's really going to fix it either.
And that's the way that it seems to me. And I don't follow a lot of these guys like these guys do in college, and that just seems this way to me. There's nobody that really stands out, and even Fernando Mendoza, we still don't know what we have in him either. I don't think so. Whatever.
I'm not a big fan of Mendoza, honestly. I watched a lot of his film. He kind of seems like a talent thing that he's always played with, but he kind of seems indecisive at times. And you only really see him go through 1 or 2 reads, which again, that could just be the talent that he played with Indiana this year. The guys were open when they got there, but he didn't seem to process past the first 2 reads all that well. And he kind of seemed a little jittery in the pocket. Like it wasn't
I agree.
anything crazy, but you could see his feet never fully set at times. And I don't know, stuff like that to me, it's really hard to fix.
And especially going to the Raiders with a bad offensive line, that's not going to help you. And he's going to be expected to start right away as well.
Yeah, no weapon.
Yeah, like not outside of what Brock Bowers. That's it.
Yeah.
Who's he throwing to?
And I mean, if you only have a tight end, you're in trouble. You can scheme tight ends away if that's your only concern.
Yeah, you can, unless you're the Steelers.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, somehow this team managed to be 10-7 last year. Let's say what's up to everybody on the board today. Welcome, Cody. Cody says, "What up, boys? What up, man? Always great seeing Cody Silva on the terrible board today." And you know what? I kind of have a change in plans today. I told Cody yesterday that I was going to counsel Mike. However, there seems to be a little bit of a snag in the plan. Mr. Mike thinks it's hilarious. He says we're going to do a counseling on me, so I'm going to drink today. So what I'm going to do it just poo-pooed the plan. You can't counsel somebody that's actually drinking when they're being counseled.
I thought that would make the bit even funnier.
No, it's not funny.
I apologize.
So I'm gonna have to do a pop-in counseling some day when Mike's least expecting it, because he was up at the bar, he was loading up his glass. I thought, you know what, I can't. He's just gonna make a mockery, so I can't do it today. So I apologize. As a matter of fact, it ain't my fault at all. So if you're upset, be upset with Mike.
Well, if you want to be upset, I got something that you can be really upset with here, Ryan.
Let's check it out.
Let's check it out. Let's check out Ryan's lumpy butt.
Let's take a look. See. Is it gonna come? There we go. So this is from Saturday night. This is me, Mike. Okay. Now it's not as bad now. At first I thought it was a lot worse. I'm going to tell you why. If you look to my right-hand side, see how my shirt's hanging out the bottom? And I thought it was closer. The edge of the picture was closer to my actual ass. And when I first saw it, it looked like I had a bit, but here I don't. Here, you see what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't hate the picture right now. I don't know what it is. Did you do something to this picture?
I did not do anything to this picture. You look, man. You actually got color. You got color. I'm worried about the stain on my shirt that I see, my gut hanging out. I can't. I got to get rid of this picture. I'm making me self-conscious. I can't wait for the.
I know. I like the picture more now that.
I know. You know what? Hey, man, I'm on the Wegovy now, so pretty soon I'll be looking like PGH Steely, nice and slim.
I just thought, damn, that's fucked up, because like I said, he just used that as an example to show how skinny he's became.
I know, right? He picked the two, oh man, we got Big Sexy here. We got Vanilla Thunder. We're gonna show him how it's done.
And you see that the screen is bigger and wider. So obviously, when I'm looking at my phone and it's smaller, it looked different. It looked like my ass was going off the camera, which in theory made it look like a big fat lumpy ass, which I don't have. But
I told that teacher she got a lumpy butt.
But anyway, now I feel a lot better because you're not feeling so good about the picture, and I feel a little bit better. So
don't bother me.
I think it does. I think it bothers
actually doesn't.
I'm gonna put that picture. I gotta put that up everywhere now.
You can put that up anywhere. I don't give a fuck. I'm 45 years old. I've given up on life. Man, that picture shows it.
No, you haven't.
Actually, I haven't.
I know, but let me get back on the board right here. Cody says Mike loves Penn State. We all know that Mike loves Penn State.
I do love Penn State. We suck, but I love Penn State. I'm like a Browns fan. I will stick through the thick of it, man. I'm there to the bitter end.
Let's see. Tortilla, my man, all the way from Sacramento, California. He says Cody loves MVS. Cody loves MVS. Steeler Freak says this: your late Ryan ignores me like my ex and doesn't call you. He has derpy disease.
Oh, wow.
Let's go right here to Yinzer Joe. He says, what's up? Yinzer's always great seeing Yinzer Joe on a terrible board. My man, hope everything is going well for you. Cody says this. I seen Mike bumper stickers. Says Penn State butts drive him nuts. RB, this is what John Steeler Freak says. He says, I bet RB can tell us the best player available for each position. He's shaking his head no, but you know what?
I didn't do anything on center or edge this year at all. It's just two things I didn't think we were going to address, at least early. I mean, I watched a couple late round edge rushers, but I haven't watched any center. I haven't really watched much outside linebacker. Like I watched a couple inside linebackers. I've only done about 15 or 20 corners. So no, there's probably something I missed this year.
He's probably, I got to be honest, probably the closest to knowing all that stuff that anybody that I could even find or know of in my life. RB is certainly on top of things. Let's move on up to board here. Tortilla says, I'm retated. Chad Schrader, what's up, brother? Always great seeing Chad. He says, what's up, Ryan, Mike, and RB? My birthday over the weekend was successful, and the sports card show was also a success. That's amazing. That's awesome, Chad. And happy birthday to you. 32, right? If I'm not mistaken. Cody says Tortilla is retarded. I seen it. Gang, Jamal in the house. Always great seeing Jamal. What's up, brother, man? Cody says show the picture, and there it was. You know what? It wasn't as bad as I thought. I'm glad you put it on a bigger screen, Mike, because now I feel better. Since Saturday night, I kind of felt self-conscious. That's a terrible picture. I wasn't standing up right. It looked like but anyway, Mike looks merry and jolly, and the fact that makes him a little uncomfortable makes me feel better. So I like the picture. Jamal says, "Where's the picture?" Of course, there it was. We showed it. I'm sure Mike is going to put it up right now. Yoel Chavez. I do want to say what's up, Yoel, to Yoel on the terrible board. Yeah, see, that's not that bad. It looked a lot different because the picture was smaller. I don't love it, but I don't hate it either.
I don't hate it either.
Because like you said, we were drinking and it was
I was having a good time. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. All right.
You know, like I'm high. I am.
Look at your
I
left.
go,
Look at your left nipple shining
my
through.
left nipple is fucking lefty was fucking hard as
Holy
fuck.
fuck, man. Let's go right here. Jamal says this Vanilla Thunder was high as hell. Laughed my ass off. Cody says, let's stare at it. Let's stare at it for a while. Let's go right here to Jamal. He says, smile RB. Just bust a smile real quick. It'll make you feel better.
No,
Nah,
it won't.
the Russian
RB.
and me don't let that happen.
That's
Too much
awesome.
Russian.
Well, love it. User Joe says this. Hey, what's up with Chase Claypool working out with Pittman? Will there be a reunion with Claypool instead of drafting a wide receiver? LOL. God, I hope not.
No.
I'd cut Derpy's left testicle off if that happens.
And guys, you got to remember our wide receiver room is just DK, Pittman, Roman, and Benny Sco right now. That is our wide receiver room. So we're going to get into RB's head just here shortly to see how this is going to play out. And can enough be done in the draft to make this a strong wide receiver room overall? Yes, of course, 1 and 2 are pretty good. And beyond that, we'll talk to RB here shortly. Finchy says, hey, dudes, what's up, RB? Jamal, gang to Finchy, gang back to Jamal. Cody says, this Mike McCarthy looks like he ate Carson back.
He does. And this is coming from a fat guy. He's beyond fat.
He's a jolly little, he's jolly.
I think fat guys in football are great, though.
I do too.
It's a staple. You need fat slobs in football. It's
absolutely.
And in comedy.
Yes.
Yeah. And so I think that's where I'm the comic relief. I'm the fat comic relief. I'm going with that. I am the Jonah Hill, the John Belushi of this podcast.
Like, I wanted them to bring in that slob that Michigan hired as the interim coach towards the end of the year, Biff Pelosi or whatever, with the cut-off shirt and his tits hanging out the side. That guy just doesn't give a shit.
Yes, you need fat people with football. No two ways about it. Right here, Cody says, what's up? Cody Finch, Cody, everybody. Tortilla says, Carson Beck ate my car keys. Tyrone in the house. What's up? Always great seeing Tyrone. His Red Legs beat our Buccos yesterday 2-0. I'll get that information out here shortly. Welcome. Always great seeing Tyrone, the GOAT, on the terrible board. He says JPJ is the GOAT. Finchy said this. He says, glad you guys had fun with PGHD League the other night. Sorry I couldn't make it. It's all good, bro. We know you got to work. Cody says this. Someone needs to get Mike McCarthy down to the facility, put a piece of cheese on a fishing pole in front of the treadmill, or he's not going to make it past the first game. Just everything that's going on in the South Side. I got to be honest with you. I wouldn't want to go down to the South Side. Maybe Mike McCarthy will lose his weight by running from all the violence over the weekend. So much violence over on the South Side lately. It's been crazy. Crazy shit going on down there.
Did you see how McCarthy was all excited that he actually talked him into buying new office furniture?
No, really.
It was like a big deal. McCarthy was thrilled that they bought him new office furniture.
It's probably been the same furniture since Chuck Noll
Well,
was
he
there.
said it was there from when Cower was there.
Holy shit.
And it's probably had plastic on it since Tomlin's been there, right?
They probably never peeled that little film.
I got the joke.
It was funny. That was a funny joke.
That was a good one.
All right. Let's go right here to get to Joe. He says this. I don't know if I'm sold on Mendoza either. He played 20 games, 8 and 23, 11 and 24, was a red shirt in 22. I'm glad we're out of his reach. I am too, to be honest with you. Dude in the house. What's up, bro? Always great seeing dude. He says, afternoon, fellas. Aaron Jade, I was worried about you. I was worried yesterday. I said, Mike, we're almost through with this show, and I haven't seen Aaron, but somebody jumped in. I think it was Ty. Ty jumped in and gave the here we go Steelers with the Rockets. Came through in a pinch, but great to see you back today, Aaron.
And then Aaron Jade got us in the comments after the show later in the evening. He popped in.
Did he?
He did. I was Johnny on the spot, man. Liking it, commenting back, because it made the day.
How about Yinzer Joe? He says, how about IPA on beers, then RB, LOL. Let's go right here to Corey. What's up? Always good seeing Corey Beavers on the terrible board from Don't Drink That. He says, hey, guys, just a little YouTube news. If your views are showing lower than usual, it may very well be the fact that YouTube is going through a data outage where it's experienced lags and views in CTR. Thank you for the information.
Yep.
As well as impressions, Corey is saying. So we appreciate that news. Always appreciate. Aaron says this coming up in July. I'm sorry. Want to go and grab some drink and lunch? Yeah. Oh, you're coming up. I got you. Yeah, man, for sure. July, absolutely, man. Keep us posted.
Hell yeah, brother.
Cody says this. He says, I don't know. Ryan Somber is a real sicko when it comes to knowing draft people. Also, let's go right here to Somber. What's up, dude? Always great seeing Somber on the terrible board. He says this on Caleb Johnson from Mike McCarthy. I am aware of their past experiences, but this is a Catholic operation. And you say 3 Hail Marys and everybody has a clean slate. Let's go to work. Tay, he says that's via Faraball. Also, Cody says, I'm sorry, Ty says, Dad Cody. Facts, Cody. Let's go right here. Tyrone says, glad to hear that Somber. Seems Mike McCarthy giving KJ and Roman a fresh start. He sure is. We'll get on into that here shortly. Cody says, Mike, you're more like Chris Farley. You're more like
yes,
Chris Farley.
That's the fat guy that I forgot. I am a Chris Farley guy. I don't do the cocaine, but you know
that's what made him Chris Farley.
That's what made him Chris Farley. I don't know if my heart can take it, RB. I just don't know.
Yeah, Chris Farley without the cocaine. I don't know. I don't know if he's even. I don't know if he's that funny anymore.
I'm a fat guy who likes alcohol and weed. You know, I can be funny on those.
Let's go right here to Tortilla. We don't live in our furniture. We don't live in our furniture. Mike Tomlin, I think. Cody says, did he break Mike Tomlin's chair? Yes, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Pittsburgh Pirates dropped the game to the Reds yesterday. 2-0. Pirates dropped to 1-3 to kick off this season in their first 4. Back at it today against the Reds at 6:40 for game 2 out of 3. Bubba Chandler will be on the hill for the Buccos. Pittsburgh Penguins, Mike, they get back in the driver's seat, at least for second place, as they beat the Islanders 8-3 last night. They jumped the Islanders in the standings as Penguins. They improved to 37-21 and 16. They are back at it today, actually hosting the Detroit Red Wings will be in town. So the Penguins look to keep that spot, Mike, as they're down to about 8 games, and they could, with the loss of a couple, be out of it, but with the winning of a couple, they can be right in it. So it's a very important time of year for the Pens.
Dude, they're teetering, man. They're teetering. They're outperforming expectations from a lot of people. Like, they should not be where they are right now. And it's nice to see, you know, the new coach is actually playing like the younger guys, letting Erik Karlsson play like Erik Karlsson needs to play. It's refreshing to see.
That's good. We're going to keep our eyes on them. And as I said, they do have the Wings tonight, Mike, trying to stay in the driver's seat in second place with that 89 points. As I said, leapfrogging, or what is it now? 89, leapfrogging the Islanders. Yep. So, again, huge game against Detroit today.
How are the Wings now? Like, I quit watching hockey in like the early 2010s.
They're not doing really good right now.
They're definitely not what they were.
They're not what they were.
I was a Wings fan because of the whole Russian thing.
Like, yeah, right. Oh, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. They're out of the playoffs right now.
Who the Red Wings are?
Oh yeah. They're middle of the pack team right now. They're not what they once were.
I couldn't watch hockey anymore. I think it's like the one professional sport, maybe besides basketball, it's just like digressed in actual talent.
I know.
Hockey, though, man, they're letting the goons take too much away from like the stars. Like, hockey does not want to market Crosby, Ovechkin, McDavid, all these guys. They'd rather like, oh, here's a big fight. Go watch this. Fights are fun, but you want to watch it for the stars, and they don't know how to market it.
I mean, I did like that kind of stuff, but the problem is you can't market the goons and the buffoonery and stuff like that, and then go around call such sissy penalties on stuff.
I know. Exactly. Like, they want to live in both eras.
Let it go like 80s, or just completely NFL it out and just make it like a track meet out there.
Yeah, you know, more people will probably tune in once they see, 6-7 score. Fuck yeah, let's go. What's this? 9-8? Hell yeah, there's a lot of action.
That's actually why I kind of quit watching, because the action actually kind of picked up. Like, when I played sports, I was always like the enforcer, the defensive kind of guy. So
you're Russian.
The Russians have some of the greatest players of all time, man.
I would hell yeah, I would have him out there killing people. And you played RB. You know, we have a couple revelations. We did reveal yesterday. Yes, if people forgot, you did win the CBS Pick'ems again, pretty convincingly. You were in first place all season. Very impressive.
I checked off the last week too.
You know what? The first couple of weeks, like I was doing the same thing. I was like, let's have a little fun with this. And then once I seen like RB was serious as dog. You know what I mean? He was like, he got so far ahead. I was like, oh shit, now I have to really try. I hung in there, but you know what? RB, he was a whole different beast. I do want to say congratulations to him. Super talented man. But also we do know that maybe in high school you might have had a little run in. You had some competition yourself of some guys that might have made, or at least one guy I know for sure that might have made the NFL. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I played Erie Cathedral prep my senior year, and I lined up against this guy. They called him Robert Sanders at the time.
Ooh.
And me being a big, fast, tall guy, like I just started running my mouth a little bit. Caught the first pass off the line for about 60, 70 yards, somewhere in that range. Got up and let him know about it. And he told me, he said, "You just made the worst mistake of your life. You ain't catching another damn ball the rest of the game." I was like, "All right, buddy, we'll see." I never got off the line of scrimmage the rest of the game.
And that's Bob Sanders, everybody. You guys recognize that name, of course.
Oh, that dude was all over the place. He returned 2 kicks for a touchdown, a punt for a touchdown. He ran for like 237 yards at a halfback, and he had like an interception.
Isn't it amazing? Isn't it amazing how the guys that make it to the pros, how they perform when they're in high school?
People have no idea, like the actually see it. Like,
you're right.
It made me feel terrible. Like,
and you said, you're fast, you got good size, and for somebody to make you feel like that, they had to be something. So just very interesting. That was something that I picked up from you in early conversations. I thought was pretty cool. Bob Sanders and Big RB going head to head. I think that's pretty awesome. Let's get back on the board here, see what's going on with everybody today. We got a lot to get into. We do got RB in the house here for a little bit. Also getting closer, as being set on the board, 23 days till the draft. So we will be seeing more and more of RB as we get closer. I do know that his availability is helping that as well. So I'm looking forward to all the insightful wisdom of RB. Let's see what else we have going on right here on the board. Let's see. Somber. So seeing Beck on the Steelers pre-draft schedule is so depressing. Let's go right here to Yinzer Joe, where the report any on how the field is at the stadium. It is still real grass. I hope it's an upgrade, especially if we plan to have college or high school play on it too. Tyrone says, shaking my head, please no Beck. Somber, I haven't really seen any updates on the grass, just the seats. They are, of course, replacing the upper deck seats. And yes, the grass is Bermuda bluegrass. It was put down and is supposed to be right on track. As far as I know.
Supposed to be. I'll believe it when I see it.
And we know otherwise. So that is the scoop that we do have. Also, Ty is saying 23 days. I can't wait. I can't even believe it's 23 days, guys. Just 3 weeks from Thursday coming up. Pretty unbelievable. You still going? Jamal's asking Ty. Ty says, make sure you like and subscribe. We appreciate that, brother, as always. Cody says the price is wrong, Bobby. The price is wrong, Bobby. Yinzer Joe says, I was a quarterback from my high school in Warren, Ohio. Isn't that where Durfee's a quarterback?
Yeah.
Well, at least he went to high school. He wasn't a quarterback.
He wasn't the quarterback. Yeah, but Warren, Ohio.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Were they the Indians? I just want to know if that's the team name, because that's where Durfee went, if in fact that is. He says this, I played quarterback when I was in high school in Warren, Ohio. I played against Big Daddy Wilkinson, Big Daddy Dan Wilkinson. Absolutely. He was the hardest hitter I ever came across. I thought 2 times about getting up. I remember a Big Daddy.
I was one of them few players in like division lead that teams had. So I was like, man, I wish we had Dan Wilkinson.
I know. He was with us.
It was like him and Saragusa.
Yes.
I always wanted Saragusa.
I did too. And he was a pit guy, so I loved that. And
he was a big fat guy.
Big fat Dago. I loved him. Absolutely.
Give me the big fat guys, especially if they're like any kind of Polynesian. Like I always wanted Hello Yonata too. Give me a big fat Polynesian.
Yes.
I was so pumped to try to draft Siaki Ika like 3 years ago, which I did see this weekend. He's trying to make a football comeback now after some back problems. He is in the UFL.
Okay,
because I know when he was coming out, man, I was like, oh my god, if we get this big fat bastard, just plop him in the middle of the line somewhere, I'd be happy.
And Cleveland took it. I'm like, oh, Cleveland will use him, right? And then I seen they had him playing like defensive end in training camp and in preseason. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Like,
right. That surprised me from Jim Swartz. You think he would, like you said, would know how to use him properly?
Put that fat bastard in the middle and say, hey, just create a mess.
Absolutely. Let's go right here. Ty says, I don't think. He says, I don't think I'm going to go. Let me see. I don't think so. Shit was too expensive with the hotels. Definitely, it's going to be a hassle, and I don't blame. I don't blame people for not, especially if you're not familiar. Listen, say you're on the bridge and you got to make that last split second decision to go downtown or to go to Monroeville or to go. Can you imagine all those people trying to make these last splits? There's going to be accidents and people are going to
Buy
get killed.
stock in insurance companies now.
Absolutely. It's going to be a nightmare. I can't imagine that it won't be, because driving in Pittsburgh is a nightmare for people from Pittsburgh. People are going to be here from everywhere. 800 up to almost 750,000 people are saying right now. Again, 60,000 people is what it takes to make it busy on a Steelers Sunday. So it's going to be interesting. And you know what? If you don't, I don't blame you. But he says he will be up for training camp for sure, which I cannot blame you. That's crazy, man. I can't, Mike. Being from here, you start to think to yourself, maybe, all right, if they do this, it'll be okay. If it ends up, there's nothing that I can even wrap my head around, like, to make me think that this is going to be even doable.
No, none whatsoever. I'm trying to figure it out how they can do it. Good luck, Godspeed. I'm going to be posted up on the Fort Pitt Bridge, just recording every single accident that's going to happen every 10 minutes, watching the out-of-towners try to cross 3 lanes of traffic.
It's unbelievable.
In points, in like, you have to cross 3 lanes of traffic in like 200 feet, if that. Good
Where
luck.
the hell are people even going to park? People are going to start like parking in like Monroeville and like taking the hour and a half fucking
Probably.
fresh.
Probably. And the sheets come on, so they are going to pay for the tea. They are going to pay for a few things to help people get around town, which they're saying don't drive anybody. Don't come to town. Take buses, take this, take that. So again,
Start walking now, people. Start walking now.
To go into this thing was always my dream, and it's like the closer we get, the more it's like I'm not doing this. I'm not getting stuck in that town for 3 or 4 days, because even people don't know. Even getting out of there is going to be a nightmare then, in any direction.
Oh God, people don't know, and people are going to try to get in like the lane that shoots up by Station Square. That's just for like carpool lanes and shit like that. It's going to be a fucking shit show. The cops are going to make so much fucking money.
And I remember once it took me like an hour and 15 minutes just on a normal day, not the drive, just like an hour and 15 minutes to get from like 4 miles to the Boulevard of the Allies. And it was
and then you got to know that everything that's usually expensive in the city is going to be very expensive, because they can and they will, and they're going to make a lot of money. No two ways about it. Let's get back on the board to see what all is going on, guys. I don't want to miss out on anybody today. Let's go to end of days. Always great seeing end of days on the terrible board. He says 23 days. Thank God, just a little over 3 weeks, if you can believe it. Hello, bros. What's up? Just learning. Always great seeing you as well, my man. How you doing today, sir? Great seeing you on the board. Yinzer Joe said he was a Howland Tagger. I think Derpy was a Warren Indian. I think a Warren Indian. Tortilla says it's been 7 days since the Steelers signed somebody. I need my fix. Well, hang in there, man. Whether we sign anybody else in the meantime, just 3 weeks away, we'll have a handful of new players. Jamal says, yeah, I bet training camp will be better than the draft anyway. Save your money. And it is. It's not as crazy going up there, because again, this is league wide. It's not just Steeler fans piling in. This is people from all around the country, Ohio, California, the Midwest, South. It's going to be something. So it's a whole different beast. And again, RB and Mike, something that nobody's ever experienced before here in Pittsburgh. This is brand new here, the biggest sporting event ever in the city of Pittsburgh. So it's going to be an experience one way or another for everybody.
No, it's going to be an experience, all right.
I hate to say this because the league don't want to do it. They need to go back and just put the damn thing in a building and sell tickets.
I know.
Yep.
And they started building the stage. I seen the beginning of the stage being built as the 3-day NFL annual meeting is wrapping up today. The stage is being built for the draft. So, we're just at that point, guys. We're turning the page, Mike, getting ready to head into the draft season. And but after that, there's not too many steps. Again, we get through the free agency. We got through putting a coaching staff together, get through the draft. There's not really a whole lot more between now and preseason. And I dig this. I like that.
Yeah, me too. And back to the draft real quick. I might be in the minority here, but I much preferred it when it was a Saturday, Sunday draft. rounds 1 through 3, and then 4 through 7. I love that so much because I would go to the bar, post up for rounds 1 through 3, and then rounds 4 through 7, I'd just do a bunch of fucking yard work and have it playing on the radio.
Let's go right here. I want to say good morning, good afternoon to Richard. Richard, he says it's going to be insane for the draft. Trying to get a room downtown is almost impossible. I can't imagine how expensive rooms are if you could find one. I know people's are renting houses, rooms out in their houses like for $300 or $3,000 or $5,000. It's crazy. Again, if this is what people are going to be paying, imagine what businesses are going to be charging for a bottle of water. Things like this, it's going to be crazy.
It's going to be a shit show.
Somber says, does Pittsburgh have those rental scooters, the green one? I think they have something.
Maybe.
And they have the guy on the buggy with the horse that and the guy on the buggy, what is like a rickshaw? He rides around and pulls you on that downtown on his bicycle. They got stuff.
We can make some money on that. We can get one of them carts and just put one of them rigs around Derpy, stick the thing in his mouth and whip him, have him walk people around town.
That's what I was thinking, RB. Yes. If you could actually get Derpy to the location, I'm all on board. Getting him there is half the battle. Let's go to Richard. Richard says trying to find room for a Steelers game is bad enough. You're not mistaken. Mark Malone, what's up, brother? Always great seeing Mark Malone. He says put your boat up in the river, dock it somewhere. You could do that. It's gonna be a lot of boats in the river. No two ways about it. Dirty Motor Oil. I wouldn't say welcome back to the show. Dirty Motor Oil says this. He says, did we talk about Ben's daughters or processing his past events? You know what I'm talking about. And why does Pittsburgh love creepy Ben? You know what? I'm not following this story, to be honest with you. I do want to say welcome back, though, Dirty Motor Oil. That wasn't what I thought that you were referring to. Mike or RB, do either of you have the scoop on what Dirty Motor Oil is talking about with the daughters?
I don't know what he's talking about, but I still find it funny we're talking about this years later after the first lady that accused them has accused 4 or 5 other people and has been a fraud the entire time. And then the second lady wasn't even the one that called the cops. Her friends called the cops because Ben wouldn't let him into the bathroom. That lady said she did everything like, what's the word? Like willingly.
Right. And a lot of times this is what people do. They see somebody that has a lot of money and it's this happens all the time.
Well, that first lady was it Reno or something? Like it was in Reno or the first time it happened.
Lake Tahoe.
Yeah, she went after like 3 or 4 people before him.
In the article I read, like when it came out, she was bragging to like other people saying, "Oh, I'm gonna have little Bens," and like coworkers were like, no, you're a one night stand."
See, I wasn't real familiar with what you were saying. Dirty is saying this. He says Ben's daughters are processing his past events. You know what I'm talking about.
Ben doesn't have daughters, does he? He has like 2 sons.
He had 2 sons.
Yeah, he has 2 sons.
I don't know. I think there's a little girl in there. I don't know. It's a good.
I've only seen the 2 boys.
Pull those family pictures up real quick, Mike, while we move forward. Dirty Motor Oil, if you have any more information, do put it up there. We will get to that. Yinzer Joe says Derby was probably an Indian in middle school and a Raider in high school. Yinzer Joe says their Raider emblem looks like an Indian anyway. That probably could be it then. Maybe. Corey says this is don't drink that update on the homicidal torso.
That is fucking great.
The quadriplegic last week that murdered somebody. Not only was it a quadriplegic, but a cornhole champion quadriplegic. Pretty amazing. Don't drink that. Corey says this. Word is he had 2 accomplices, a pair of arms and a pair of legs. They morphed together like a Megazord to make one person. Sommer says, I wouldn't whip Derpy. He might moan. That is true.
He'd moan and whimper and go, a harder, daddy.
Tortilla says Derpy might scare 100,000 people out of Pittsburgh.
Ben, Somber found it and I found it too. Ben does have 1 daughter.
I thought he had a daughter. Yeah. Right here, Ty says, facts RB, it's all BS. Girls want to get paid. That's what I would make out of it. Again, nothing more was ever said about it. And everybody outside of Pittsburgh that's is a football fan all just want to continue to say this. And again, I think that if he was,
you ever notice none of these women are even remotely attractive either?
I know.
That's why I don't buy it. It's like, here's a multimillionaire. Like, do you know how much skis he's probably picking up without effort? Like, it's going to be no problem to find something, especially these ones that are coming out. I'm not sure. Like, I could pull something better than that on like
I
That's
agree.
$50,000 a year
I agree.
salary, let alone a guy making $2 million a year. Any of the times I see it come out.
I agree. And not only does he have money, he's successful. Not only is he successful, he's famous. Not only is he famous, a quarterback in the NFL is a catch. So again, if there was something about this more that I felt really held more, I would give my opinion. But again, it's kind of old. And maybe if his daughter is just now getting into it, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, Dirty Motor Oil. Let's go right here to Just Learning. He says, Derpy the whipping boy. LOL. Yinzer Joe says, Ben only has boys. Somber says, hey, he has one daughter. Ty says, I was going to say he has two sons and a daughter. And then also, Dude says, how many suits did he settle? I don't know. You're young. You're not raping people. Come on. I don't know. But anyway, that's just my opinion, guys. Today we're kind of limited with RB. He will be with us a lot this week. But before he does have to take off for the day, I want to get inside his head a little bit and talk about this, the draft coming up in 3 weeks and 2 days. RB, a lot of the speculation, of course, we talked last time we were on the show, and the guard and the tackle position obviously are very big, and the wide receiver are very big needs in this year's draft. And as I mentioned earlier on, the wide receiver room basically is just DK Metcalf and Michael Pittman Jr. Beyond that, it's Roman Wilson and Ben Skoranek. And the thing is, I see you and Chop again doing a lot of talking back and forth. There's about how many, like, realistically, how thick is the wide receiver talent in this year's draft, RB? Because a lot of people speculating that we're going guard in the first round, or like you like a tackle. I know that it's a more important position, but realistically, how strong is this wide receiver room? And if we do attack the offensive line early in the draft, like a lot of people were expecting to do, what's realistically there for the Steelers when it comes time for us to grab a wide receiver? If not in the first, maybe the second or the third round.
I think there's about 18 to like 22 guys that could be potential starters.
Wow.
I mean, as in like 1 through 3.
Yeah.
As you go on, I'm curious to see, because I have some guys ranked a lot higher than what your consensus people do, compared to like some of the guys they have ranked higher. I just don't see, like, everybody loves Denzel Boston.
Yeah.
I don't see anything when I watch Denzel Boston. I watch a guy that's slow, not athletic. I mean, he is a pretty good run blocker. I'll give him that, but I'm not drafting a guy in the first 2 rounds because he's a good run blocker.
Right.
Boston doesn't have any kind of separation. He kind of bullies guys in college, but it's 6'4", 205. You ain't bullying anybody in the NFL at 205. Even some of the smaller corners are going to handle 205.
Absolutely.
He plays Mike Evans football without Mike Evans' size, and I just don't see how it's going to fly in the NFL.
What's worried about him though too is, like, he didn't do any of the speed test or any of the agility test.
I heard,
and you don't see it on the film.
I heard that he did, but not at the pro day. Before the pro day started, he ran 2 or 3 of them, and from what I'm hearing, he was running like 4.67, 4.72 in that range, and so he just wasn't going to do it when the scouts were let in.
Yeah, that's like tight end speed. There's like even tight ends faster than that.
Talking about,
and like you said on Show Up, like, even for a long strider, like myself, I was a long strider. It didn't look like I was moving as fast as I did because strides were so. Even watching his, he doesn't have a very long stride. He's not covering much ground.
Speaking, we're on offense, talking about the wide receiver position now. Is there a lot of teams in the first round that you see that are going to need wide receivers? And what do you think is basically going to be left once we get to that point? Because, going after that offensive line seems to be the prime cut here. They need to get something over there, at least if it is going to be the guy from Penn State, if it's going to be a tackle, whatever it's going to be. So realistically, who are the top 3, 4 wide receivers that are going to be off the board that we're not going to see just because they're that good and they're just not going to make it to where we are?
I could Tyson gone. Somebody's going to ignore the red flags on Tyson. I think Tyson's the best wide receiver in his class. The only reason why he's being held back is because of the injury concerns.
Okay.
Somebody's not going to care. Somebody's not going to care, and they're going to jump on that.
You're right.
I could see Kansas City being really high on Tate. They kind of need a guy like that. And if I think Kansas City would jump all over Love or Sadiq or Tate, depending on how the board falls. Um, I think you're going to see somebody jump on Cooper a lot quicker than a lot of people think.
Oh, really?
Like
Okay.
I think when we get to 21, I think probably the best guy I'm going to have left is probably going to be Concepcion. And I don't like Concepcion in the first round. I like Concepcion. I don't like him in the first round.
So you'd be okay grabbing him maybe in the second round if we grab, say, a lineman in the first round?
Yeah, if Concepcion would fall, which I don't think he'll fall to us in the second round, I just in the first round, I don't. He has too many concerns with his hands, and I also see some issues with like concentration. Apparently, he's been working on it, but it gives me a lot of DJ vibes.
Okay. Okay.
That's your buddy, Deontay Johnson.
Now, of course, we have all the needs, and we knew that we have holes on this offense we had to fill, and we're still continuing to work on that. But what about the defensive side of the ball? Is there anything that you see in the first 3 rounds? Because again, you're trying to tackle your guard. If you're going to go after a tackle, there's speculation of this whole quarterback thing. All these offensive conversations that we're talking about here, wide receiver, of course. Is there anything on defense that's going to be that's going to warrant a draft pick in the first 4 rounds for the Steelers? Because again, it seems that it's going to be awfully offense heavy, not because we're out there grabbing weapons, but we're in need of some pieces. What's the first need, the biggest need on defense, and how far along in the draft do you think it will be before we see that pick?
To me personally, I think it's pure nose tackle.
Okay.
Like a pure zero tech nose tackle. And I think you can wait till late third, maybe early fourth, like mid fourth to start looking for that. But anything else at that point, it would just be something crazy. Like if somehow Jacob Rodriguez fell to the third round, it'd be kind of hard to pass that
You're
up.
jumping all over him.
Yeah, but I don't know if he's actually going to do that. But if it would happen, there's no way you can pass that up.
We have 5 picks in the first 100. 5 picks in the first 100 picks out of our 12. That's almost half of our picks in the first 100. What's going to be the position breakdown that you think will be in those first 5 picks? Because you get nice picks in the third round. You could get guys that are going to be very serviceable. So I mean, these are important. The first 3 rounds RB. What do you feel is going to be, of course, wide receiver? Just give me your 5 position breakdown on how you feel that those first 5 picks are going to go. And this is just, of course, speculation.
It's the trend of what McCarthy's done in the past. I think you're going to get 2 linemen. You're going to get 2 receivers, and I think safety and a defensive lineman.
And that's fair, right? That's, where does an inside linebacker fall into any story, into anything? Because at the end of the day, I don't know, unless Patrick Queen and his skill set becomes totally changed with the new coaching staff. It's hard to believe he's going to make it beyond this contract that's up this year. Is the draft a good time to maybe get something there at the inside linebacker position, or is this something that we figure that maybe we're just going to get in free agency down the road whenever we have to start dealing with Patrick Queen? Any thoughts on the inside linebacker? Of course, the guy from Texas Tech is always nice, but any realistic thoughts on an inside linebacker?
I think there's 2 or 3 that you could potentially look at taking, but I'm not going to pass on a really good skill position guy in round 3 because me personally, I think you got to go trenches first 2 rounds for sure, and then grab your receiver. I'm not going to pass up on a receiver for a middle linebacker at this point who's really not going to get that much playing time. Excuse me. But I also feel, to me, middle linebackers kind of like the halfback of defense. You always see decent quality middle linebackers at free agency, and they never really get all that much money.
Right.
And if you build the right defensive line in front of a guy doesn't have to be all that great at middle linebacker. You can find any guy that's going to run and tackle the ball if you got a good defensive line protecting them. So to me, middle linebacker is not the concern that it used to be in football.
It's really not. I have this comment here. I want to get to you, RB, before you do have to end up leaving. This is what Patrick Queen said in regards to playing defense for Baltimore and Pittsburgh. He says this, in quote, I done been in two different defenses. Baltimore was just like, that's y'all position. Y'all do what you got to do. Everybody help each other. With Pittsburgh, y'all let the D line do what they want. Y'all protect them. Then the safeties, y'all protect them. And it's like, it's kind of hard to play like that, Queen said, according to this video on YouTube. It was just eye-opening to be able to see the differences in stuff. But the linebacker position, if it's like that in some other places, that's tough stuff. I ain't lying. Also, he follows it up by saying you got to do every single little thing. You got to be able to play the run, play the pass, no matter what the receiver, the tight end, running back, offensive lineman. You got to know every single route combination. You got to get team run, all the run plays. You got to be able to make the calls at the line, get everybody set and get everybody lined up. It seems to me that Patrick Queen is probably a little overwhelmed, or being maybe if he doesn't have the responsibility of the green dot, maybe he gets back to playing how he did when he was a Pro Bowl player in Baltimore.
I don't even think it was the green dot per se as much as it's just the scheme. I've heard from a few reputable people that I've talked to that the defense was just wildly constructed, as in the defensive line called their own play, the middle linebackers then called their own play, and then the secondary called their own play.
Wow.
Which, I mean, basically just came out to be cover 3 in the end, but you didn't know if the defensive line was going to play over, under, shade to the right, shade to the left. The secondary didn't know what the middle linebackers were doing. They were all supposed to make a separate read and go off what they thought they were going to do. And especially for somebody like Queen, who is a run and tackle guy, not so much a bumper, it's going to be impossible when you got the coaches having your nose tackle swim and rip centers and spin moving guards and just letting them guys walk right to the second level to get the linebackers. Like,
right.
And that was a big sign. That was a big key to me that Pittsburgh's going back to more of worry about the pass line. It was when they brought in D'Amato Pecco, the coach of defensive line, because Pecco offered you no pass rush. But I'll tell you what, Pecco's going to teach you how to anchor your ass and hold a guy up.
Hey. And that's what the D line was the best when they were just focused on stopping the run. You know, like go back Casey Hampton, Aaron Smith, Kiesel. If they got sacks, that was a plus. They were just space eaters, but it's like once we got to it, Hargraves, Hayward, that's when it became, oh, let's go get sacks from these guys. And then you started to see teams run on us more and more and more.
Oh, who was that guy? I'm drawing a name on the dude they brought in to play nose tackle when
Alulu
got hurt. When he got hurt.
Oh, when Alulu got hurt. Oh God, I can't remember.
And then that kid come in, he was here for like 2 or 3 years. They put him at nose tackle. He was only like 290. He played all right, but I can't even remember.
I can't remember his name. Yeah, because I know who you're talking about.
But he was out there like purposely like sidestepping centers and letting them go, swim moving guys. And then when he did get in front of centers, they just blew him off the ball like 10 yards. And I think the kid would have been an all right defensive end. But again, there's Tomlin. No, pass rush, pass rush, pass rush. We got to rush the passer. I don't see why all 7 guys need to be able to rush the passer.
Right.
No, you just need to be able to just Steve McClendon.
Steve McClendon.
It was after McClendon.
It was after McClendon?
Yeah, it was just here in like the last 3 or 4 years.
Oh, was it Bugs?
No.
Montravius Adams.
Montravius Adams.
Because we picked him up off the practice squad from the Bears, and he did all right. Then they tried to make him the nose.
And he would have been an all right defensive end. I think he'd have been a good rotational piece playing end. But
and that's how I view Keanu Benton in that Montravius Adams role, is as a D end in a rotational piece, not your starter.
See, that's why I'm not so worried much about end. I think Benton's your Cam Hayward replacement. I think you get a nose tackle in there and you go Benton on the end, Harmon on the end, and then a real legit nose tackle, and get a depth guy to come in, a little bigger of a guy to replace Benton on run situations.
Right. Well, that's how I like the mock draft that you sent over in the group chat. That I just put up on the website. You're going Dominic Orange at 85 and Dante Corleone at 121. And Dante, slots right in as your nose. Then Big Citrus and Benton are your backup ends right now. And then they fight for the future of who's going to be Cam Hayward's replacement. And that's the perfect rebuild of that D line.
even with that, they both can still play too because Corleone doesn't really play third downs. He never
Yeah.
really has anywhere. So
Yeah.
you can move Citrus to that nose tackle on third down. You're still not giving up any kind of anchor, but you're still
No.
getting some pass rush if needed.
Yeah.
And that was like what you said with the old defenses. People say, "Oh, Aaron Smith got sacks." Aaron Smith got sacks because Aaron Smith just did his job and the other guy
Exactly.
failed,
Yes.
or the blocking scheme it faded over to Porter, or they pulled another guy to deal with Higgins, and that's when Smith would get his sacks. It wasn't
Yeah.
Smith just outright rushing the passer.
No, those were all luxury. They all knew their job was to just sit there and eat up blocks, and whatever comes to you comes to you, and they all did it happily.
As I seen Mark Madden just say here, nobody plays the zero tech anymore.
Right.
It doesn't matter if nobody does it or not. Well, if nobody's doing it, nobody's prepared for it, so you do it. And it's going to take more than a full season for teams to start game planning against that again. You got to be
Yep.
kind of creative. Football is always a full circle. You're going to see here within the next, I'm going to say 3 to 4 seasons, people aren't going to be so quarterback worried. You're going to see some of these massive quarterback deals start to slim down a little bit because it's going to come out running the ball and beating on these small defenses. It's already starting to happen. Nobody's really acknowledging it, but the teams that have been winning the Super Bowl are beating teams up now. And it's going to go full circle back to that's the league thing. Yeah, it's nice to have a franchise quarterback, but when you only got 4 of them on a planet at one time, what's your alternative? Beat the piss out of somebody.
Right.
Yep, exactly. Because if you don't have one of those, how are you going to compete? So then you have to construct your roster to how to counteract that, and that's what the Steelers were trying to do, have been trying to do, but now it seems like this offseason it really accelerated what they wanted to do in the identity of what they want to be, because they know, okay, we're probably never going to be drafting that high to get a franchise quarterback. So what can we do? You see what they're doing in the draft, man. They're getting bigger, beefier guys to run the fuck over these smaller 220 linebackers that can't handle it anymore.
Yeah, and it's the thing too is I don't know. I sound one of them old geezers that we grew up with. Oh, this generation ain't as tough as our generation.
Right? Yeah.
But as you get older, you realize that shit's true. These kids couldn't have hung in the 90s no more than the guy in the 90s could have hung in the 70s.
Yeah.
You got to find some of these old school kind of guys. That's why I like getting Mason McCormick. That's why I like Zach Frazier, because these are old school kind of guys. They will kind of beat the shit out of these guys.
Yep.
Absolutely. Well, unfortunately, guys, it is time. It is time that RB has to take off for the day. But you know what? We're going to see a lot more RB moving forward. Thank you so much, RB, for very informative information all day today. I can't wait to get more out of you here the rest of the week. My friend, thank you. Hope you have a great day, sir. We'll talk to you soon.
You too. Everybody have a great day. I'll talk to you guys later.
Have a good one, RB.
Bro. All right, let's get back on his board, see what's going on right here. John said, I'm sorry, no. Steeler Freak says, tell Derpy I got a job as a fluffer here in Vegas. Derpy, huh? We could get Derpy down there.
Yeah, we could get Derpy down there.
Just Learning says, Rogers has a fake wife. Also, Dude says, right now, the Steelers are in the best shape for the draft in a while. Dude, I couldn't agree more. I just think that the Steelers are in decent shape. Depending on, Mike, whatever happens at quarterback, this is not a bad team. This team, with all of its deficiencies last year, still made it to 10-7. They still made it to the postseason. They still won the division. Yeah, it come down to Baltimore missing a kick at the end of the game, the last game of the season. All those things don't matter because when it's all said and done, it's the wins, the losses. The Steelers finished atop of everybody, Mike. So again, with everything that we did this offseason, people thought that we were going to be down and put on a whole new coaching staff. And we did that. People thought, well, let's see what they do in the free agency. And we went in and we handled our business in free agency. And if we get a home run in this draft, Mike, and again, that's with or without a quarterback. It's just really hard with this quarterback situation right now. It's something that we have to handle correctly. You don't want to make that mistake too many times. Let's say you make the Kenny Pickett mistake and then you make another mistake. So this is going to be a very, very sensitive situation that we have to monitor and make sure that we handle correctly. I understand that people are impatient. I understand people want to get somebody under center, but at the end of the day, if Aaron has to come back and Aaron's got to do what he did last year, let's say he can get 25 to 28 touchdowns this year, back up over 3,300, over 3,300 yards. Let's see 3,500, maybe more. So you get those improvements. Let's say the offensive line comes along. Let's say that the left side, let's say we draft a guard. Like, things are not bad for this Pittsburgh Steelers team. Big Ben, of course, the topic today on the board. Big Ben says the Steelers or the next AFC North team to win the Super Bowl. Again, that he doesn't say when that's going to happen. He doesn't say that's a this year thing, but he says Baltimore's window is closing. Those Ohio teams, Mike, he says that the Steelers, it looks like, are the next AFC North team to win a Super Bowl. Again, this could be 30 years from now. We don't know.
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, the Steelers are not in a terrible situation.
No.
I think a lot of fans, like certainly the Browns fans, like Tater Tart, they really thought that it was just going to be, everybody was just going to be so down. And this team is, oh God, we don't have this, we don't have that. But we're still in a better position than a lot of football teams are in this league. I think a lot of those shortcomings, Mike, were mental situations. And again, I want to see what the differences are between this coaching staff and last. And if we start to fix those problems, that's fantastic. It's not a blaming game. I don't want to find out that Tomlin wasn't doing something right, that McCarthy comes along so I could point at you and tell you were wrong. I don't want that at all.
It's just a different philosophical
it's a different
approach.
Philosophy. And if you listen, if whatever you do it makes you win and gets you closer to the Super Bowl, I'm for that. Like I said, if it comes back and this is all McCarthy had to do to change. He just had to adjust this, and now we're this much better.
Just a little tweak here and there.
I have zero interest in coming back to you and pointing my finger and saying, that's not the case at all. I just want to win football games, and that's where I wanted to be all along. It never was anything about the guy, never nothing. I just want to win football games. I just want to have a chance in January. And if the guy is fucking Asian, that's fine with me. I don't give a shit. I'm just ready to move forward with my Steelers, and I think everybody else is too. So at the end of the day, Mike, I think the Steelers are in great shape. Great shape for the shape that they're in, I think you could say.
I think so too. Like this team is, the cupboard was not bare when Tomlin left, because they've been building this thing for years now, and you're just seeing the work that was done under the Tomlin regime. Now the work that's being done under the McCarthy regime is more or less the continuation of little tweaks here and there for their personnel, but they're sticking to the philosophy that they've adopted ever since the Con Weedle era started in the front office. It's just build through the trenches, get some guys in free agency and trades to augment the roster, and we're not going to sign them to these huge contracts that are going to kill us in the future if things don't work out, because we want to remain competitive while also drafting young talent and developing that talent so they can take over for this older talent that we're bringing in, because we want to still remain Rooney competitive. They're kind of hindered on what they can do, but they're making it work. Or, are we happy going 10-7 and 1 and done in the playoffs all the time? No, but it could be a whole hell of a lot worse. You can, have 4 losing seasons in a row with no sign of it ever going back to where we once were. So right now, they're chugging along, they're doing the right thing, and they are set up, and they are building a damn good roster to where, you could potentially run this thing with a young quarterback, and that seems to be their goal, is to just build that team and remain competitive, and it's working right now. It's not the results that we want right away, because my God, we want to see 13, 14 wins. We're going to AFC Championship games. We're going to Super Bowls and winning them. But shit in one hand, wishing the other. Let me know which one fills up first.
All right, let's get back on the board. Lots going on today, guys. I apologize. Let me try to catch up here. I'm going to go right after Dude's comment to Cody. Cody says, right, it's like Tiger Woods. Everyone wants to talk about the 82 women he banged. No one wants to talk about the 500,000 he turned down. Let's go right here. Ty says, facts, RB, I'm good on Boston. Jamal says, man, I'm so hype about this run game with the two-headed monster back there. I am too. I'm really excited. I want to see Dowdle. I want to see Warren. And again, it's going to kind of be reminiscent, Mike, of who was it that left last year? Who was just here before Gainwell came?
Najee. How could we forget?
So I am too. It's going to be a couple bangers back there, guys. Similar to that, I think. So very excited about that. Mark Malone says, I think the move here is to trade down to the first, grab Concepcion, then nab Pregnon, Rutledge, Dunker in the second round. Jamal says, I want a receiver, the receiver from Indianapolis. Jamal is saying. Mark Malone says, I'd lean more towards Dunker for obvious reasons. The mullet is the mullet. The obvious reason.
God, that's the one picture I keep forgetting to set up, is the Dunker picture.
Somber says, I was put on Boston like 2 months ago, but he fits the McCarthy build. I wouldn't be surprised. Out. Okay, gotcha on that. Either Joe says Boston seems to win contested catches at the collegiate level. I can't see that transitioning to the NFL level. Players are just better at defending. Absolutely. The best. Nobody in the world is better. Mark Malone, yeah, Cooper maybe gone at 21. Tyrone says, I'm more wide receiver in the second, third round. Yeah, Mike.
I was going to say it's going to suck if Mark Cooper does not fall to us, but he does seem to be the guy that's rising up draft boards, being talked about. More teams are looking into him, and that's not a good sign because there are receiver hungry teams ahead of us, and unfortunately, one of them being Baltimore at 14, and that's what scares me. Like, is Omar Cooper sitting there at 14 and they snag him. And they can also take Vega if he's sitting there at 14. They have need at guard and wide receiver. So I could see that, I know we talked about yesterday about trading up to Dallas for 12 with Alex Highsmith. I can see us bundling maybe picks up to 12 with Dallas to leapfrog the Ravens to snag either Vega or someone like Omar Cooper Jr. So we don't want them to go to Baltimore.
Right here, I'm sorry, Black Magic. Jamal says Cooper. He's from Indianapolis. I'm sorry, Mark Malone. Imagine getting a receiver from India. Jamal's all on board for getting the defensive tackle. Aaron Jade, he says, draft a true nose tackle. That's something you've heard over the years, Mike. Keanu Benton just isn't the guy.
He's better at DN. He did well that first year in there, but it's just not the position for him. He was a good one in college, but at the pros, no. I think he's a really good pass rusher from the D line. So put him at D end and let him rush passers, man.
Somber says yes, free safety, slot cornerback, nose. Somber follows it up by saying inside linebacker, maybe if there's a value there. Jamal says this. I'm sorry, Mark Malone. Jamal, yeah, I think someone nabs him before we pick. Somber says tight end as well, hopefully, but in rounds 4 through 7. Cody says if Kansas City has Rashid Rice, Xavier Worthy, and Carnell Tate, that's crazy work. Dude says Queen forgot how to tackle. And you know what? At the end of the day, that's the most missed tackles in the league. Being confused by giving too much information shouldn't affect the way that you tackle somebody.
Well, in the missed tackles too, like, did he take a bad angle on it because he wasn't, like RB was saying, knowing how the D line was going to be aligned? Did like a guard, bump him off his line to where when he got to to make the tackle point, he wasn't where he should be. There's a lot of variables that go into it. So you're hoping that improved D line and play in front of him will help that, because I don't remember missing that amount of tackles the way he did in Baltimore.
And no, I mean, that was the point of the whole article before, Mike. There's so much responsibility on his plate in Pittsburgh. It's been a 180 compared to the way that it was in Baltimore, where he was able just to go out and play his position. Now giving all the responsibilities, you start to see his play fall. And again, it could be just not being in the right position to make plays. So at the end of the day, we will see, Mike, this will be something that we learn is Patrick Queen just been bad since he's been here, or was he not able to thrive in the system that he walked into? This is a question that a lot of people are talking about right now. Let's go to Yinzer Joe. He says, I'd love to shore up the nose tackles, maybe in the 3rd or 4th round, get Orange and Curleone in the 4th. Then we won't have to worry about it for a few years after Hayward is gone.
I like both those guys. I have a feeling one of them might be gone in the 3rd round. Like, Corleone has the potential to drop further than Orange, but I'd rather get him early if I can. Like, within the first 5 picks, like I'm going to sound like a meathead here, but give me a guard and a tackle, a wide receiver, and 2 D linemen in my first 5 picks. I'm walking away happy.
Well, in your defense, Mike, you always sound like a meathead, so I didn't really.
That is fair. That is fair.
Let's go up to.
I'm sorry. I like the trenches, man.
You don't have to apologize for being a meathead. Let's see. Let's go to Somber. Somber says, LOL. Yeah, I guess that's why Sonny Styles has so much hype. Let's go right here to George David. I'm sorry, to Ty. Ty says this, Vega, Jacob Rodriguez, Ted Hurtsby, awesome first 3 picks. Also, George Davis, I want to say welcome to the terrible board. He says Will Howardus. I think George likes Will Howard. here on the board. I always want to say welcome, George. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the Terrible Board. Glad to see you. He follows it up by saying Will Howard is our man. I think.
Okay, there we go. Yeah.
Cody says this: if we get back-to-back trenches first and second round, I'm going to be like Derpy and scream, "I hate everything!"
I had it queued up, but I had the volume down.
Joe, he says we're all just speculating, but the teams ahead in the draft will ultimately dictate. And that's, you know what, and Joe, this is why I don't get into the draft like a lot of people do. This is not for everybody. Our guys are very into it, and I rely heavily on that at the end of the day, because with these mock drafts, it's a crapshoot. You don't know who's going to be picked before you. You don't know if somebody's going to be picked in the fifth pick of the draft that's just going to mess everything else up that you did. Okay, it could be fun. I get that, and see what you got. But at the end of the day, it's impossible when it comes to draft time, and that's where I have a hard time, because I like solid information, solid stuff to go on, and this is a lot of it is speculation, Mike, because it's just your opinion. And like I said, if somebody does one thing outside of the way that you think, it's going to mess up a lot of what what you think the draft will be. So I agree with you 100%, RB. It's just going to have to wait till we get there. A lot of people are just talking now. I know people are anxious. They can't wait, Mike, just a little over 3 weeks away from this NFL draft. It's going to be something, guys. Let's get right here. Yinzer Joe, was it Tyson Alualu? Okay, that was when we was trying to figure out.
Yeah, the nose tackle stuff.
Mark Malone, we don't play like it anymore, though, man. Let's go right here to Somber. I feel like we've been screaming this for 2 years. Mark Malone, that's because nose tackle doesn't play zero tech anymore. Nobody does it. Right here to Mark follows it up by saying Corleone, he can do other things. Mark Malone follows that up by saying, I'm going to guess the highly compensated mother effers are prepared for that. Thanks, RB. Take care. Absolutely, RB. Great having RB, and Mike, we'll have him in later on in the week. Probably a few more times this week as we get closer to the draft, and that will just continue. Always great having RB by for sure. Drink that. Corey says, I want a wide receiver like Ward, puts up good numbers, but cares about blocking. I would love that. That's just a good quality to have, even if it's not your thing. Like Hines Ward, it was kind of his thing. It's just a good quality to have. You're a more complete football player if you get out there and lay the block down. It adds value to you as a player. I don't know. Let's go to right here where Mark Malone says this. He says, I want to put Dunker, next to Frazier. Put Dunker next to Frazier.
And I got something right here for you, Mark Malone. This is gonna make your day, buddy. Look at that.
Now look at that.
If that does not scream starting left guard for the Pittsburgh Steelers, I don't know what does.
Not only is it a mullet, it's a big orange mullet.
That thing is wild and untamely, and that looks like a left guard haircut right there.
Somber says, yeah, let's stop at won the division. Don't talk about what happened next. Let's go to Yinzer Joe. He says, with no information on Bro Joe, it's difficult to not think they won't draft at his position. If he was healthy, we could possibly start the draft elsewhere and fill other needs. Guys, of course, the left-hand side of our line looks like this. It looks like this right now, Mike. I could find where I had it here. Spencer Anderson, Brock Hoffman. That's your options at left guard right now. Spencer Anderson, Mike, I think he was a 7th round pick, Spencer Anderson was. And Brock Hoffman, who they just brought over from Dallas. Also, Mike, at the tackle position, Dylan Cook and Broderick Jones. This is the depth on the left-hand side of our line right now. Spencer Anderson, Brock Hoffman at guard, Dylan Cook, and Broderick Jones at the left tackle spot.
Yeah, that has to change. I know McCarthy said yesterday that he likes what we have at left guard. I hope that is a smokescreen, is just a, hey guys, we like that you're on the team type thing. Because if you go into the start of the season with Dylan Cook and Hoffman or Anderson at your left side, that is a major disservice.
And again, I mean, obviously, this is what they're going to do. I highly doubt we're going to be sitting there with our fourth pick going, oh, geez, are they going to pick an offensive lineman? I mean, it's obviously this is what they're going to be addressing. They'll be addressing early. So, again, 3 weeks, guys, we're going to be getting some new players, somebody to fill the holes on our team. And again, guys, a couple guys that possibly can potentially be playing a lot of football this upcoming season. Certainly left side of the offensive line, Mike, and even a wide receiver as a rookie, I think could make a big jump on this particular kind of team that we have right now. Because, again, talking about the scarce line we have, the quarterback room only consists of DK Metcalf, Michael Pittman Jr., Ben Skoranek, and Roman Wilson. Now, Roman Wilson, for whatever reason, didn't get his numbers. Skoranek's a bottom-end receiver when it comes down to it, more of a special teams guy. So if you get a draft, in the draft, if you pick one of these higher talented wide receivers, Mike, certainly at least by the second round, there's a very good chance you're going to be playing a lot of football for the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2026.
Oh yeah, you're gonna be playing a ton of ball if you're a receiver, and that's why you. My God, there's some really good guys to find at receiver. If we say we miss out on a Tate, Lemon, Tyson, or Cooper, like Casey Concepcion, if he falls down, Bryce Lance, I know a lot of guys like on the board for North Dakota State. Ted Hurst, I really like at a Georgia State. So there's guys down there that you can find, even like Jacoby Lane out of USC. I think he fits the mold really well for what the Steelers want to do. There's value at receiver, and I have a feeling whoever we get, if we get one of them in the third round, they're going to have a really good rookie season.
I hope so. I mean, that's what it comes down to. It's almost like they're going to have to. They're going to have
to. They have no matter what, they have to have a good rookie season,
especially if it's a high end talent. You got to expect that player is going to be very, very used in this offense. So especially Mike, you get Aaron comes back and he has a little blocking for him. He gets a little extra time to throw the ball around. Who knows? Who knows what we're going to see? So still a lot riding on this offseason that even have an idea we might see in the fall. I'm going to go to RB on the board. He says 100% Ryan, but I will do it. I just want to win, but others have to have a man crush and try to moronically defend it. So I will point a finger or two or 57. Steeler Freak says this: I want the team to win football games, to win one football game. Absolutely, man. We're due. Let's go right here. I feel that we're due. Let's go right here. Mark Malone says, with the way the rules are now, you have to. It's scooted on me. You have to try to score more points. Have to try to score as many points as possible. Mark Malone, if you want to compete in January. Into Joe says, Siamalu hurt us too. I hope the backups are going to be strong or we will be in trouble. Corey, don't drink. I'm sorry, Cody. Cody says the philosophy is jet sweeps and screen passes. Speaking of which, Mike, you know what? I can't really say that because Todd Haley was good, but Todd Haley's team, Columbus, did get beat this past weekend, Mike, in the UFL as they kicked off. So I want to see more. I can't wait to see what Arthur Smith does with that Ohio State team. I'm going to be.
I can't wait. I'm going to be really invested in this team.
I am too.
I'm not an Ohio State fan, but I can't wait.
Corey, don't drink that. Says everybody said in 2022 that if we got the pick wrong, we would pay for it for like the next 3 years, and we certainly have paid for it. KP was the wrong pick. Tortilla says the shit filled up fast. Also, Yinzer Joe says we could look like the Browns every year and draft the top 10 and still be bad. How they do that, I'll never know, because other teams, Mike, they go through the process, they go through the ebbs and flows, they get good players, they get better, and as the league progresses, it's a roller coaster. There's ups, there's downs, there's fluctuation all the time. For whatever reason, the Browns, 40 years later, Mike, they just can't get out of the basement. It's incredible. It's even a different franchise makes it even better. just the lack of success between two franchises making up one franchise at the end of the day.
I love it, man. I love it. The Browns, they sucked, went away, got better as the Ravens, came back as the Browns, and still suck ass. And clinging on to a history that's technically not even theirs.
And they love it. They love it. They love it up there. They love the misery. I can't, Mike. I don't understand those people.
I don't know who's a more delusional fan base, the Cleveland Browns or a New York Jets. Like you talk to both of those fans, they are both so delusional. Like just accept the fact that you are bottom feeders of the NFL, and every once in a while you get a little taste of the sunlight, and then you go back down. And that's kind of like what Detroit's becoming right now. They're getting their little sunlight. Pretty soon they're going to be tapering back down, right where they belong.
Boy, the Jets are so bad.
They're fucking terrible. My Lord.
It's crazy what's going on up there with them. Let's get back on the board right here to I do want to say this. Go check out Corey over at Don't Drink That right here on YouTube, guys. If you like or love conspiracy theories, maybe the government, whatever they're up to behind closed doors, maybe the things that are flying around in our skies at night, all that kind of fun stuff over at Don't Drink That right here on YouTube. Corey Beavers does a great job putting it all together. He has mad content. Do go check him in his podcast out, guys. A lot of great stuff. Go check out Don't Drink That right here on YouTube. Let's go, Mike. Let's move up to, I'm going to say right about, dude, haven't heard the shit in one hand comment other than myself in a long time. It's probably been about 6 years since I heard it myself. It was funny. Mike brought up a couple old ones today. Johnny on the spot and the shit in one hand. So I don't know what the hell.
I think that might be the first time I said shit in one hand and wish in the other in my entire life.
Yeah,
I hear it a decent amount.
Yeah, I've been around people that said it often, but it's never really been my thing.
This might be the first time in 45 years on Earth I have uttered that statement, and it kind of made my skin crawl.
It was cringe.
It was cringe. It may have been the alcohol talking. This is why you need to counsel me.
This is why you don't get counseled. This is exactly why you don't get counseled.
Look, the drink's gone. I'm ready for
it. And I have to say, everybody, you make sure to thank Mike. I was 100% ready to counsel him today, but the fact that he came drinking, I'm going to push it back. I have to push it off. I can't counsel him while he's actually drinking. I just
that would be my thought process was that would be the perfect time to counsel me.
No. So I have to push it back. It's gonna have to be a pop quiz, like a pop quiz, Mike. One day I'm just gonna have to do it out of nowhere, and again, it kind of defeats the purpose. But anyway, thank Mike, everybody, if you're waiting for that segment today. Let's do scoot on the board right here to Somber. Somber says this, guys. Speaking of Cooper Jr., I just ran a mock to see where he falls now. Tyson went at 19, and Dallas traded up to 20 and took Cooper. Laughed my ass off. Corey says this, and Don't Drink That. He says Ravens need to beef up their trenches too. I'm not worried about them taking a wide receiver. I am not worried about the Ravens at all. I'm less worried about the Ravens, Mike, now than I've ever been, really, because I'm looking forward to the twilight years of Lamar Jackson, because his he yielded some MVP seasons, but at the end of the day, got nothing out of it. And again, was not that successful against the Steelers. Mike, of course, losing to us 10 of the last 12 times the Ravens have playing us. So at this point, I'm not afraid of Baltimore at all. I'm kind of confident. I'm not arrogant, but confident that, we could probably do some damage in this division, depending on what Cincinnati puts together on their defense and maybe Cleveland puts together on their offense. But Mike, I think that we're the prime team in this division right now. Am I wrong?
No, I don't think so. No, not at all. Yeah, Lamar's closer to his prime than Aaron is to his, but who plays better in the clutch right now?
Who got
Aaron marginally?
Mike,
Lamar chokes.
Mike, who started 4-1 and who started 1-5? I mean, this is with Aaron Rodgers and this was with Lamar Jackson. The Ravens were 1-5. The Steelers were 4-1. And it came down to these two went head-to-head at the end of the year. And
the Steelers have a better defense. The Ravens front seven is not what it once was. I know a lot of Raven fans are hoping Matabuke is going to come back, but with that neck injury, no. And if he does, I don't think he's going to be the same. And you need more than him on in that front seven because they're soft there. I like parts of their secondary, but not all of it. I don't like their wide receiving core at all. I don't get me wrong. I love Zay Flowers, but he's not your number one.
No.
No, I think he's a great number two. You can move him around the formation. He's get the ball in his hand. He's
As
good,
long as they keep him as number one, I'm fine. They're number one.
me
I'm
too.
fine with that.
Yeah.
It benefits
It-
us.
yeah, Mark Andrews, his skills keep diminishing year after year after year, and then you lose Isaiah Likely too. I don't like what they did, and I don't like their offensive line now. It's they have a lot of work to do now. If they hit a home run in the draft, yeah, they can be a whole lot better than they were last year. But still, man, they've only beat us twice out of the past how many times? 13?
12 games. They beat us
Yeah,
twice
2
out
and
of the
10.
last 12 games. 2
And
and 10.
I just don't. I just don't fear them. And the Bengals are the Bengals. I fear them more with the Joe Flacco at quarterback than I did as Joe Burrow, and that should not be a sentence I'm saying in 2026.
I fear them both the same, just for different reasons. Let me do scoot forward here. Ty says, doesn't Dallas have 20? 20 what, Mike?
Dallas picks.
Oh, what do they pick? Gotcha.
Yeah, they picked 12 and 20 because from the Green Bay trade, but if we wanted to move up to trump Baltimore for getting a wide receiver or guard that we want, we'd have to move up to 12 to do it. And that makes the most logical landing point for us.
Let's go to right here where Somber says not originally. It's Green Bay's pick. Gotcha on that. Ty says, oh, yeah, I remember. So they got 12 and 20. Damn. Let's go scoot up right here. Somber says, I ran another one in both Lemon and Cooper. They're at 21. Shrug. Only time will tell.
Exactly, because you don't know what some of these crazy GMs will do.
Mike, if one of those guys, one of them top receivers are there at 21, do they grab them and maybe try to go second, third with their tackle guards? Is there a way, Mike, that they don't go in the trenches first? Is there a player going to be that could be available that would make us change that up again? We don't know. We don't know that they're going guard or tackle first, but it seems that way, Mike, because again, we don't have anything there that's legitimate. But is there anybody that's a wide receiver that would take that away from the first round pick of the Steelers, Mike?
I can see like if Jordan Tyson and Omar Cooper Jr. are there, I can see them doing a big debate of, okay, do we want one of these guys and hope we can find someone in the second round for our guard in like a Pregnon, a Bizontis, or Rutledge, get one of those guys in the second or third round. Or even if you push it even further down, like Jalen Farmer, maybe at the tail end of the third round for your guards if they want to go wide receiver in the first round.
Let's go along on the board here. Right here, Ty is saying just first two picks better be wide receiver or guard. And I'm thinking anything outside of that is crazy. But, Mike, usually, as we said yesterday, when the Steelers pick, sometimes it's just like, what? Who?
Yep. Who is this guy?
I mean, they grabbed Fatanu, who we're very happy with.
Yeah.
But when he grabbed him, I can't recall who it was, but we were expecting other things. And I was like, right tackle.
Like, okay. Because we thought, okay, we would figure that. We, would keep Project there, Dan Moore at left for another year or two, but it's worked out for us. I've learned not to really question Conan Weedle that much. The way I didn't really question Kevin Colbert in his early part of his tenure. I like the picks that they made. They've had misses. Find me a GM who hasn't had a miss. So I like what they're doing, but I think Tyson and Cooper Jr. might be the two that, if they're sitting there and you have a guard sitting there, I think there's going to be a very serious discussion. And we might use up most of our time as they're debating the merits of both positions back and forth in the depth that's still out there on their draft board.
Right here, Tyrone says, Derpy better suck it up. We need a guard. Somber says, in my opinion, the sole purpose of mocks are to learn players, learn needs and value of positions in every round, to see what teams' needs are. Draft day is impossible to get. I agree. And again, maybe it's just my impatience or my attention or lack thereof that doesn't allow me to enjoy it the way other people do. But again, I'm glad we have guys like RB and Chop and Mike really help along the way. Mark Malone says, "That's my guy, man. That's my guy." Ty says, "Vega from Penn State or Pregon from Oregon." A lot of people certainly love these two guys. Corey says, "I hate mock drafts because I'm tired of seeing Maurice Jones-Drew's shitty football knowledge." Uh, Cody says, "What the fuck is that real?" Mark Malone, McCollum is back too. That's true. Hey, yeah. What's the deal with McCollum? Like, I mean, there's something we like there. Obviously, we.
Oh yeah, he's a solid backup. Solid backup, definitely at center. If case anything would happen to Frazier, or if your guard depth gets
Yeah,
depleted, you want to move Frazier over.
what's his versatility? What's his flexibility? What's his
No, he's just a center.
just a
He's
center?
good, just a center, but he's a very good backup center, and they like him there for that sole reason.
All right, let's grab a couple more. I do want to get into a couple other topics, guys. The Ty says, "Yeah, Steelers playing secrets for sure." Somber says NFL owners have approved 4 rules changes per source. All right, that's crazy because again, that wraps up today, Mike. I can't wait to look and see what those changes are. Let's get into Tortilla, where he says best 7th grade squad in the nation. Let's go here. Somber by competition committee to permit the kicking team to declare an onside kick at any time. So they can? They changed that back?
Yep.
Oh, thank God. I hated that. I hated you had to tell the other team when you were going to do an onside kick, and it just you had to let them set up and everything. I hated that. I'm so glad. Let me read that one more time. It says by competition committee to permit the kicking team to declare an onside kick at any time in the game. I think that's fantastic. I hated that rule change.
Me too. It was idiotic.
Especially when there was no problem with it. It's been around our whole lives. I mean, if there was issues, there's no issues. It's not an issue. What's the problem? It's part of the strategy of football. If you need to use an onside kick, you need to be able to use it. Then it's what it is. Mark Malone says, "At Cody, the mullet. Oh yeah, it's real, baby. It's real." Cody was a little surprised. He said, "Is that freaking real?" Let's go right here to Somber. I'm sorry, I scooted down a little bit instead of up. Competition committee for 1 year only to allow the NFL officiating department to correct clear and obvious misses made by on-field officials that impact the game in the event that there is a work stoppage involving the game. Officials represented by the NFL Referees Association. No, you're good, dude. I appreciate that. I'm very interested to see what these the changes are, and of course the annual NFL meetings. They finish this today. It's a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday thing. Somber was reporting what the changes are. Very appreciative of that, sir. We can't thank you enough, actually. Sorry for spamming. Those are the rule updates per Paulo Osorio. We appreciate you, sir. Mark Malone says, imagine of the opposing Ds were greeted with McCormick, Dunker, and Beck staring right at them in the middle. You don't even need tush push. Just yeah, look at that. That thing flown on a Sunday night. Beck's eyes. The stadium lighting gleaming off of them babies.
Coach, I don't know where he's looking.
John
Can't you see?
this.
He looked this way. He threw that way. His eyes were pointed that way.
John says this: the Steelers has a 1% chance to win the Super Bowl. They had 2% last year. Bet big and win big. Yeah. Let's go right here to Somber. Somber says Tennessee cornerback Gerald McCoy, a projected first-round pick who did not play this past season while recovering from an ACL tear, just ran a 4.3840 with a 38-inch vertical jump at the and a 10-inch 10-7 broad jump at the school's pro day. That comes via Shefty.
Yeah, that's scooting.
Ty says, "Damn, you ain't kidding. He's fast." Cody says Tyrone going to root for Artie Smith next year. Probably. I mean, that's a squad. I don't know what he can't control that. Unfortunately, he can't control that. John says this. John says running in shorts when the job description requires running in a uniform. Well taken. Mark Malone says that. John, I like those odds. Jamal says, hit that like button. We appreciate you as always, sir. Thanks, Jamal. John the Steeler Freak says this. He says, if my aunt had balls, she would be my uncle. Let's go right here to Cody. We made the Jets look like they were going to be a good team last year. You're right. It was tough to beat them in that first game. What was it, 34-32? And it took Jalen Ramsey all the way to the very end, Mike, breaking up with pass play to close out the Justin Fields-led Jets. Cody says, thank Mike. Let's go right here. John says the Ravens have Jackson. Next. We run the North Tie says, Yinzer Joe says, wife told me to quit drinking once. I quit and my heart started fluttering. She says, don't stop drinking water, idiot. I assume she wouldn't want me wasting my beer.
Exactly, Yinzer Joe. Ryan tells me I have a drinking problem.
No. You have an anger problem when it comes to drinking, and that's where the problem lies. You could drink till you're blue in the face, till your liver mushes away to nothing. You just have an anger issue when you drink.
So
Cody says this for sure. Well, that's the problem.
No.
When you're not drinking is when the anger comes.
No. Exactly. When I'm not drinking, that's the problem. You got to keep me hydrated. You got to keep the steady flow of alcohol into me, so I'm good.
Cody says Rashard Bateman there, number one. Yeah, right. I don't know what the hell they're doing. They're almost like us. It's a lot of questionable things happening, but maybe with the changes they can get better as well. In Baltimore, Corey says Lamar gives me vibes that he'll retire and have a gaming channel on Twitch. I can see that. Somber, if they can get Tate or Tyson at 21, I think they run to the podium, probably not Lemon due to his size. And Lemon, Mike, this was a name early on. A lot of people saying Lemon.
I still love Mekhi Lemon. I don't know what world we live in where like 5'11", $195, 200 pounds is tiny for a wide receiver. That's like AB. That's that's AB's build right there.
I take the League of Monsters. That is tiny.
I'd take him in a
5'10" and under 200 pounds. Come on.
Give me Mekhi Lemon all day, every day.
Let's go right here. Somber says they really like Rutledge. Ty says I got trust Omar, and we will agree. Mike Somber, McCollum is a solid center, left guard, right guard depth. He can also play on the interior offensive line. Somber is saying. McCollum has played guard. Mark Malone. Get ahead of what's up, dude? Always great seeing Get Ahead of minus 40 club in the house. What up? Welcome back to the Terrible Board. He says, I'm not an English teacher, but I'm sure Tortilla Jackson pronounces it like Torsha.
No, Tortilla just doesn't know how to spell.
Yeah, you're looking way too hard.
Yeah. We were confused on that too when Tortilla started showing up, and he's just a bit slow.
Somber says, LOL, it's so red. That mullet, of course. Right here, Somber says it's tortilla without the L's.
Hooked on phonics did not work for Tortilla.
I love it because Tortilla's been with us for a while and it still remains the same. That's what I think that makes it fantastic. Somber, I'm sorry, Get Ahead of says, really? My bad. All is good in the hood, brother. Somber says everyone gets confused. Don't worry. LOL. Yinzer Joe seems to me, Thunder, that others have the problem with your anger, not the drinking. LOL. Well, here's the thing. I can fight with Mike till I'm blue in the face. I don't care. But I everyone starts going, oh, don't fight. Look at they're going at it again. We want to talk football.
But yet they all love it when we fight.
But it could get to the point where it's just too much.
Yeah.
Which I agree.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I was trying to argue the opposite.
We can argue every day. I don't care. That's fine. It's not a burden to me.
Oh, God, no, I couldn't do that.
Because can you just think of watching a show and the people fight every single day? It's like, okay, that's enough.
I know, right? We got that on like every sports channel.
Somber says McCarthy just likes these Avatar guys. I love Lemon.
Yep.
Personally.
Yeah. Yep. I see where you're coming from.
A couple things I do want to get into, Mike. A couple other things. You know what? Let me grab a couple of these messages before I do that. Get Ahead of says I listen to you guys every day in the background. I love what you guys are. We appreciate that. And you know what? I gotta say, Get ahead of minus 40 club is one of my favorite names. I'm going to give you the game ball for the day because of your compliment, and I'm going to tie that with the fact that I like Get Ahead of together. Game ball to you, Get Ahead of. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Corey says this. He says, I think his name was pronounced Torsha. I don't know why. Torsha makes me hungry, and he's a dude, so that's gay. So Torsha, it is. Ty says, you say Torsha 3 times, and he shows up. Dude said, if you just agreed all the time, I agree. And I agree, and that's not the goal either. I don't want it to be that. I don't want us to agree all the time. But again, I just go back and watch some of our fights. It's incredible.
They're fiery.
Let's go right here. Let's go to Dude says, okay, got you on that one. LOL. Somber, get ahead of my man. My couple things I want to get into, a couple different topics right here. This is the NFL scouts right off terrible 2026 quarterback class. It's a bunch of backups. I'm like, is that wrong? I know that we've said it here on the show, but I don't really feel that there's anybody that I would waste my time. And listen, because let's say you do grab a quarterback. Let's say they grab Ty, which I don't think they're going to. Yeah. I don't think they're going to grab Ty Simpson. But let's say you do grab Ty Simpson and you do get Will Howard, and then you do have intentions on getting a good quarterback out of next year's draft. Is that the goal? Is that maybe in the books, Mike? And then just now you got your guys in 1 years and 1, 2, and 3. And you could have some kind of competition, see who's the best out of this flock of quarterbacks. I mean, is that out of the question, Mike? Because again, at the end of the day, I don't see it being a logical decision to draft a quarterback in this draft at all if Aaron Rodgers is coming to play for the Steelers this year. I just don't think that it falls into place. We just need so many other things. But is it possible, Mike? I mean, am I out of my mind here? Can the Steelers go after one of these backups? Basically from this draft?
I hope not, because to do that, you would have to say that these guys are so much better than Will Howard to justify that pick again. And I don't think they're that much better than Will Howard, maybe marginally. But in Ty Simpson, maybe if he's healthy and blah, 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 I just don't see any of these guys are really long-term starters in the NFL. I hope I'm wrong and they have great careers, but from what I've seen in college and stuff like that, none of them scream top-tier NFL talent. This reminds me of like when people were like, "Oh my God, you got to go get Blaine Gabbert." Who the fuck's a Blaine Gabbert?
Right.
We always overhype quarterbacks because it's the most important position. So therefore, we got to get this guy before anyone else can get him. No, that's how you fuck your team up. And I don't think there's any quarterback in this draft that is that good. And I know we said that last year too, outside of like a hand, maybe like I really like Cam Ward. And outside of him, I didn't see anyone else. In this draft, I really don't see anyone else either outside of maybe Mendoza. And even I'm not sold on him that he's going to be a guy that's going to be a top 15 quarterback. And if I'm taking someone in the first round, I'm hoping they're going to be at least a top 10 quarterback. So no, I hope we don't take any quarterback in this draft. Because if you bring Aaron Rodgers back, he's gonna mentor the way he did for Will Howard last year. So keep grooming him. Because if you like what Will Howard has and you think he can be a starter, what McCarthy's saying, he says he has a lot of potential. Why go out and draft someone else to where, okay, we can't work as much. We can't spend all of our energy on this guy. Now we have to spend it on this guy. Oh, we get someone next year too. Now we're spending it on this guy as well. All of our attention spread out, and now not everyone's getting that good one-on-one time with all your quarterback coaches. So I don't think it would be a good idea.
With that being said, Mike McCarthy comes out yesterday and says we're very, very open to adding a quarterback in the 2026 draft, which again, I'm just chalking this up as smoke and mirrors because again, at the end of the day, you're not going after a quarterback early. You need a left side of your line. You need wide receivers. Again, I think that the Mike McCarthy coaching staff is going to go out of their way to make sure they're not sitting there in need of a
Yeah.
wide receiver just because of everything that just went down with this team. So at the end of the day, Mike, you're not even going to get a quarterback until rounds that the guys. It's not even going to be quarterbacks worth having, in my opinion, anymore. Once you get to the point where you would realistically draft a quarterback if you're the Steelers. So for Mike McCarthy, he does say, Mike, he says, we're very open to adding a quarterback from the 2026 draft. Also, Mike, this is being said as well. Being that information put out there, there's only been 2 quarterbacks that was brought in for visits, of course, Mike Carson Beck and Cole Payton. So, at the end of the day, are we realistically looking at this possibly Cole Payton, Mike, this North Dakota kid? Now, if you're talking maybe grabbing a quarterback past those valuable picks, those valuable spots, your offensive line where they should be drafted, where your wide receiver should be drafted, Mike, maybe are they looking at somebody like Cole Payton for something a little further down the draft, something, but to me, it just doesn't seem like it's going to formulate to anything or eventually bud to anything. I don't see the purpose. I personally, Mike, I don't think that we should grab a draft this year, but maybe a Cole Payton or even Carson Beck is still around at that point. Are these 2 guys options? Before you answer that question, I do want to say, Mike, that they're interested in looking in grabbing a AFC North style quarterback, which they're chalking up. I guess these 2 guys might have been there. The only 2 that the Steelers had visits with. Mike, the quarterbacks brought in, of course, were Carson Beck, Cole Payton. The Steelers making it known that they are looking for an AFC North quarterback with old school size. That's what they're looking for in their quarterback, Mike. Carson Beck, Cole Payton, sitting around, lingering after we get all of our important stuff done. Is there a chance we grab one of them? And if we do, what's their future here? It's just,
like I said, I don't think a single one of these guys are going to be actual NFL quality starters. And you want to take a look for like the AFC North quarterbacks, the old school build. Like, take a look at the quarterbacks that McCarthy worked with, like Favre for a little bit, and then Rodgers. And one of the reporters broke down like their arms and their hands place or sizes, and there's 3 quarterbacks that fit that parameter: Cole Payton, Drew Aller, Taylor Green. No thank you, no thank you, no thank you. Like, I don't want any of them. And I just think it would be a mistake to use one of our picks on a quarterback, even in the late rounds. If you're debating at a quarterback as your 6th or 7th round pick, like, what are we doing here? It's just going to be more fodder for the fan base and the media to go, oh, why isn't this guy getting a shot? Oh, they don't, or like Will Howard. So Will Howard's going to move. It's just, to me, it just be creating unwanted noise and distractions, because now everyone thinks because of the success Brady had, the success that Purdy had, any quarterback draft is going to go on and be this great starter in the NFL. And I just don't see the need for that right now. Like, we have a good quarterback room here once Aaron Rodgers comes back. To run with it, and then next year find your franchise guy, unless you think or you see a lot of growth from Will Howard. Then you say, okay, he's our guy, and we're going to use all of our picks next year to keep fleshing out the roster to make him better, to limit his liabilities but enhance his strengths.
All right.
I just don't see a need to draft a quarterback. Sorry.
No, you're good. We got a lot to still get into, Mike. Let's move forward. This is what, if you're curious on what is being said, this is from Phoenix, from your coach Mike McCarthy. Mike, yesterday, he says this about the quarterback 1 position for the Steelers. This is what McCarthy said. Mike McCarthy said he continues to talk to Aaron Rodgers weekly, sometimes daily, and said that the former 4-time league MVP is in a very positive place right now. He follows it up by saying, they go on to say in this article, but he was non-committal about any decision, much less a timeline. Rodgers might be contemplating about returning for the Steelers for another season. McCarthy, though, said he was comfortable with the dialogue he has with his former Green Bay Packers quarterback. So, Mike, that's contrary to what was said over the weekend, where that some of the local meatheads here, Mike, was saying that you could trust me. He's going to be having this decision made by the time the draft.
Yeah.
It was quote, trust me. And over the weekend, the Steelers are expecting the decision by Aaron Rodgers by the draft, which again is 23 days from right now. Mike, this article that I'm reading here about Mike McCarthy and what he says doesn't sound anything like. Again, starters, he says, Mike, we're very open to drafting a quarterback. And then what we just read here with Rodgers is in a very positive state, non-committal about any decision. Rodgers might be contemplating about returning for the Steelers. He was comfortable with the dialogue. So there again, Mike, there's this Pittsburgh media just totally giving you something that's not
true.
Not true. Straight from the horse's mouth, right from Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, I'd rather trust the guy that's actually talking to the player every other day or every day, staying in constant communication. And this is what we've been saying all along too. The Steelers know what's going on for the most part. They have a good vibe, and they've been operating under the assumption of like, hey, we're going to build this team that's quarterback proof, so whoever's here is here, and they keep operating that way. So for anyone to say they know Rodgers is coming back or not 100% is a little far-fetched for me. Like, you can have a strong opinion, say I feel like he's going to come back, but to say trust me, I think that's a bit too much. And especially you're hearing what McCarthy's saying. If he's open to the dialogue of coming back, so that means tell me he's probably thinking about, hey, maybe I want to retire or see what else is out there. And the Steelers like, okay, we're gonna either you come here or we're gonna run with one of these guys that we have right now.
Either way that it's gonna go, Mike, I don't think people should worry. Again, for what the shitty situation it was that we had last year, we still managed 10-7, and I think everything is an improvement, a lot of improvement so far. So I'm not worried at all. And again, Baltimore, Cleveland, and Cincinnati really aren't doing things that make me worry at all about anything in the division. Matter of fact, I think all those windows seem to be closing a little bit more and more on those three teams every year that goes by, and they get nothing accomplished. Again, all supposed to finish ahead of us last year. They all finished behind us last year. The Steelers just it's what they do. They win. Mike McCarthy says this yesterday at the big NFL meeting down in Phoenix, Arizona. Mike, he says that we vow for a fresh start for Roman Wilson. He vows for a fresh start for Roman Wilson. He said there's a lot of love for him in the building. Mike, I think that this is encouraging. At the end of the day, I really feel that if Roman Wilson can be a big part of this offense, and that's saying everybody else is as well. I don't want Roman Wilson to excel and Michael Pittman have a down season, or I don't want Roman Wilson to have a great season and DK Metcalf kind of shits the bed. If he has a good season amongst everybody else doing what it is they're supposed to be doing, I would love to see Roman Wilson be involved more. And again, Mike McCarthy vows a fresh start for Roman. He says a lot of love for him in the building.
And that's Mike McCarthy's taking the page out of my playbook. I've been saying that's what he should be doing all along, is let these guys have a fresh slate. They're not married to him, but you don't want to come in going, oh my God, this guy didn't start in this regime, he sucks. No, let's find out why they weren't getting playing time and how can I use them in my scheme if I can use them in their scheme. And hopefully things work out for Roman Wilson. If not, oh well, we're going to hopefully draft someone to be your replacement.
Finally, also, Mike, this was said. This is another comment by Coach. Coach says that he hopes, hopes new eyes benefit the young receiver, talking about Roman Wilson. So, again, some positivity, some optimism, if you will, about Roman Wilson being talked about by Coach McCarthy yesterday from the big NFL meetings down in Phoenix, Arizona. So that's encouraging to me, Mike, because, again, at the end of the day, the dude's been in the league. This is his third season. And he's probably literally had less than 20 game time. He certainly has less than 20 catches. I know that. There's no two ways about it. But so again, at the end of the day, if he could become beneficial, Mike, and become a weapon on his team, like we hoped that he was going to be, and get some of those other issues ironed out, whatever the case they may be, I would love to see Roman Wilson be more involved, especially if he could play a role, Mike, as being the guy that when everybody else is covered makes a big play and just tears one off as he did in Michigan. I know they ran the ball a lot, but again, Mike is a playmaker. And if they could turn him into a playmaker in the NFL, it's only going to be beneficial for us because at the end of the day, Mike, his contract extension is going to be coming around not too long here in
the next year.
And the guy hasn't even played yet. So I wish the best for Roman, Mike. I hope we see positive from him and whatever it was that we weren't seeing maybe last year and the year before, maybe it'll become more transparent under a new coaching staff and we'll start to understand more what the hell's going on with Roman Wilson.
Yeah, and I hope he can catch on to this team because I liked what I saw last year from him when he was, when we gave him a chance to make plays out there. He was making plays up until that one boneheaded play. So I'm hoping that we can get a lot out of him, man. I think he's a good player.
And also, finally, Mike, it said that Muth and Washington should be starting to get roughly right around the same amount of opportunities, if you will, snaps. I think that's the best possible situation at our quarterback or tight end position. I want both of these guys playing as much as possible.
Yeah, me too. Like, get them out there at the same time with DK and with Pittman out there. You don't have to go crazy with like your 12 and 13 man personnel the way we did last year, but if you can get them both out there at the same time, awesome. Or, one series is Freiermuth, another series is Washington to keep the defense off balance. I'm all for it.
Absolutely, Mike. Finally, then we're going to get some messages. Finally, who really would be a nice, and I'm talking a perfect fit, and I don't think you're going to like it, and you may.
Okay.
I think this person would be very a good draft pick for us, Mike. Inside middle linebacker, Kyle Lewis from Pitt. Some of these guys that come out of Pitt, these defensive players, they're the real deal. And you're seeing that in Tampa Bay with a lot of these guys that was going in the first round in some of the past drafts. Kyle Lewis, for what it is that we're looking for, this guy's he's got a nice size. He thumps. He could be all over the field. He could cover. He could rush. A lot of things, Mike. And again, if you're not seeing yourself being able to grab a guy from Texas Tech or a guy, one of these top tier inside linebackers, I think Kyle Lewis could certainly be not only a serviceable inside linebacker, Mike, but a good piece to fit in if case Peyton Wilson. Let's say Peyton Wilson goes down, blows out his knee this year. You have a struggling Patrick Queen next to who? You see what I'm saying? If you want somebody who's going to be good enough, maybe be a guy to step into the place next, or I think that Kyle Lewis, if we don't get him, Mike, for that reason, somebody's going to be happy. As again, the Kalijah Kansies and the all these players that's been picked early in the draft out of Pitt, these defensive players, Kyle Lewis is going to make a name for himself in the league, Mike, and I think that he would be the perfect fit to put in that piece as of right now.
I really like Kyle Lewis, but the only thing that scares me that size, 6'1", 220 as a middle linebacker, but he can play like a hybrid linebacker safety type player. Like he's a playmaker on the defense. I would love for us to get him, but like as we're going through the draft and all that stuff, like need versus want and stuff like that. I don't know if there's like an actual need for like a need for that type of player, or we have too many needs to get that type of want.
The thing
player.
I like about him, Mike, is he covers a lot of ground where he could be a thumper and he could cover. So let's just say Peyton Wilson gets hurt or Patrick Queen goes down for any given reason. He's a good piece, Mike, that you could pretty much put him in anywhere, and he's going to be a serviceable backup. Again, he's a Pitt guy, so I lobby for him.
Oh no, I'd love for us to have him. I like watching him play. I liked what he did down at the Senior Bowl. I don't get me wrong. I love Kyle Lewis. This is it. Beef up that defensive front, and they go back to just being space eaters and someone who can fly around, make plays. Kyle Lewis could fit into this defense, and like I said, he can play that hybrid linebacker safety type position. That kind of like we're probably gonna have Jalen Ramsey playing like a hybrid position, playing him all over the defense. Be nice to have someone else to do that as well.
Let's get to one last topic here, Mike, and then we're going to get back to the messages. I'm going to go to Omar Khan's comments on Broderick Jones, guys. This was said by Omar Khan, of course, the GM, on our left tackle, Broderick Jones's health status. This is what Omar said. He said, quote, he's starting to do more and more. I've talked to him a couple times over the last couple weeks, and he's in a good place and really and ready to work hard and do whatever he can to be ready to go. So
I hope it'd be nice if he could come back and battle for that spot again.
it'd be nice if he could come back and do it well. That's
That's
my
the thing.
problem.
Can he do it well?
They just struggled with him for so long now, and again, it was. I mean, you're in the second season, and the guy didn't even know what fucking hand he was, for crying out loud. So again, that's what's being said about Broderick Jones. Of course, he's trying to recover from his surgery, his injury in the left tackle right now. It's either him or Dylan Cook. So very, very interested to see how that plays out. But that is what is said by Coach McCarthy in a nutshell. Mike, I'm gonna get on the board here.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna try to do some catching up, but it may result in me fast forwarding a bit.
Yeah, that's all right.
Let's see how we could do.
These things happen.
All right, let's go right here. I'm gonna go to Tyrone. He says they fight. Their fight's too funny, but Mike is always a too Dum Yinzer. Somber says, nope, not wrong at all. Tortilla is Tortilla Simpson. Tortilla Simpson. He says, 2027 quarterback class, please. Tortillas, or Tyrone is saying, I'm sorry. Cody says, the Ryan Finch argument was pretty good. Everyone said bye, Finch. Mark Malone says, think about what the Cheats got in the trade for Jimmy G. Also, Ty says Finch is the GOAT. Leave him alone. Bowling ball ahead. And what?
Oh, I heard it was bowling ball head.
Who is it even referring? What are you laughing at, Mike?
Didn't someone call Finch bowling ball head?
Oh, I thought he was calling the person who was messing with Finch a bowling ball head, but
all I heard was and like I just pictured Finch as a bowling ball head.
Well, he is a bowling ball head.
Yeah.
End of days, as this guy is clueless. Also, Cody says if you take the I out of Tortilla, those are usually the chicks he sings karaoke with. Take the I out of Tortilla. The torta. Mark Malone says, in all seriousness, I would go after Sawyer Robinson if he's there in the fourth. End of days, be available is what end of days is saying. I always want to say welcome to end of days. Great. Senior Ty says 5th or 6th round for sure. Cody Beck now. Tortilla is fighting back. End of days says Steelers drafted Kenny. Mark Malone, doesn't one of the quarterbacks have smaller hands than Pickett? I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't go down the whole rabbit hole.
Nusselmer dude, I think Mark Malone is saying also what he has smaller hands maybe. Cody says, don't let your kids play GTA with Tortilla. He'll ruin the night. He'll ruin their night. This is what Cody's saying also right here. Corey, don't drink that, says the only thing lingering are Beck's eyes, like the dude from Employee of the Month. Are you looking at my breasts? I don't know. Hey, Tater, what's going on? It's okay seeing Tater on the board, I guess. Tater says this. Hard sell Schittsburg for a young quarterback, but it would get him in league. Okay, let's go to. Hold on, scooted on me right here. Right here, Tyrone. He responds. He goes, Tater, he had about 30 young quarterbacks and still haven't found one. I'm just curious, Tater, how old are you? Because the Browns finished ahead of the Steelers one time in 40 years. I'm just wondering if you're old enough to even know that they had.
I want to know, when did Tater start watching the Browns?
I bet he has bright orange hair too, like a Browns helmet, because he's Irish.
Bright orange hair? Did someone say bright orange hair?
There you go. Tater probably loves this guy.
Probably.
Tater's snooty, though. He might not.
Yeah. Ew, who's this guy?
Cody says, yeah, England, yuck. Ty says, 2027, we will get our franchise quarterback. Corey, don't drink that, says the only thing I trust about Kabuli is that he will have a meatball sub before the days. And
oh, meatball sub actually sounds good.
I could see a whole meatball sub clogging his artery, like the whole sandwich, not broken down or anything, just a whole fucking meatball sub, like when you see a snake that eats something, how it gets real big.
Yeah.
That's what his arteries look like with meatballs. Mark Malone, they had Baker, but they thought they could do better, or they could do better. LOL. Somber says if Roman and KJ can secure special team spots, I think that's a great start for sure. For sure, they should be focusing on that. And again, I think KJ didn't really do himself justice last year in getting that done. Let's go to Cody. Hey Tater, Lord of the Rings sucks. Ty says facts. Stupid franchise as usual. I never seen it myself, so I guess I'll agree with you guys. Ty says hope KJ and Roman have great preseason. Open some coaches' eyes for sure. Tater says, how is epic failure going today? I don't know. Your sex life not going so well, huh?
That's the title of his sex tape.
Yeah.
Epic failure.
Also, Somber says Steeler page uploaded. McCarthy's media availability finally 30 minutes long.
Oh, wow.
So Mark Malone says that Cody Tater has actually been fashioning some Irish car bombs to take out that British hooer. Take that British hooer out. Somber says Tater speaking caveman over there. Cody says Tater going to get the Tater going to get with Professor Snape and play light night Quidditch. Let's go to Tater says epic failure equals Pittsburgh Piss Pukes 2026 season. I'm sure of it. Somber says Snape has a bludger for Tater. Tyrone says watching the exclusive video first. Let's go right here. Mark Malone, he couldn't do it well when he was healthy. LOL. Cody, Brabustrous is cooked. They're talking about Broderick Jones, of course. Ty says I was backing up Finch, Mike. I was backing up Finch. Is what
I thought you called Finch a bowling ball Finch.
The one thing that I noticed is the one that has the bowling ball head was the one that laughed the loudest. I'm just gonna leave it right there. Let's go right here to Somber. Somber says the NFL's DK Metcalf rule has passed per Tom Pelissero of NFL Network. The league will now be able to consult with officials regarding a potential ejection, even if the flag was not thrown. So all kind of things, guys. I check into the new rule changes as the annual NFL meetings do wrap up today. Somber saying about four. There's about 4 changes he's been giving them to us on the board. Let's go right here to Somber. He says Metcalf was allowed to finish the game last year in Detroit after an altercation with the fan that the officials did not see. He was later suspended for 2 games. That is per Alan Saunders. Tortilla says Tater eats frozen corn dogs while they're still frozen into his anal cavity. No, I'm just teasing on that one. Let's go right here to Tortilla where he says this. I've never seen Lord of the Rings, but you guys are missing out. Let's go to Ty. I like what I'm hearing from McCarthy. So far, so good. Again, if he gives me a reason to hate him one day, then I'll hate him one day. As of right now, things seem to be going smooth, and again, I'm just trying to hope that things stay on track for our Steelers. Again, he might make decisions that piss me off more than no other at some point while he's here. But again, right now, things are smooth. As I say with my quarterback, Mike, whoever it is, he's going to be my quarterback at the end of the day. I'm going to support him. I do that with my coaches as well, and I'm hoping for the best from Coach McCarthy. Ty says this. I called Cody that. Okay, so Cody was the bowling ball head. Always got Finch. Finch's back is what Ty's saying. Also, Corey says I hate the Lord of the Rings as well, but it has cool hidden symbolism in it. That's pretty cool. And finally, Mike Tyrone says this. They dropped an exclusive interview, and I'm about to watch Mike McCarthy availability. I'll be checking that out as well here as the show gets ready to wrap up here shortly, Mike. But before we can do any of that stuff, first we got to tell everybody about our website.
Head on over to the2dumyinzers.com, everyone. Oh, man, it is hopping over there. We got a bunch of mock drafts over there. RB has his definitive list of wide receivers up over there. So check it out at the2dumyinzers.com.
A lot of great things. RB, seen just this morning. He had that coming over your way, Mike, talking about the new mock draft that Mike just mentioned. Mike gets his mock drafts up every week as well. Between Chop, RB, and Mike, a lot of good stuff over on the website, preparing you and getting you ready for the NFL draft. Of course, go check everything out at www.d2dumyinzers.com. That's www.d2dumyinzers.com. Let's get into this question of the day, Mike. It is time. It is time. And we're going to stick with the theme with the NFL draft, which again is just 23 days away. Who would have thought? Did a cat just sneeze? What was that?
I did, because I did not want to go the "Apoo!"
I thought it was
sneeze.
I thought it was a queef at first.
I know, that's what it sounded like.
There's no women, but that might be the cat. Cody says Mike drafts all the Penn State guys, all Penn State guys, the whole way down the list.
Catron Allen and Vega are the only two guys I've been mocking.
On the tube, says Somber. Guys, it's time to get into, again, Mike, it's hard to believe 26 days from now, the draft's going to be done. It's going to be over. And that's it for the year. And again, the Pittsburgh Steelers getting the draft in our own city this year. Stage being built, Mike. I see the stage being built at the stadium. A lot of things are prepared and being prepared and getting ready for the big event. Again, 23 days from now, guys. This is a trivia question about the draft, not particularly about the Steelers today, but in fact about the draft, the NFL draft. So put on your thinking caps, Mike. Everybody on the board, everybody at home. Here is the question of the day. What was the last year that there was no quarterbacks selected in the first round?
Oh, wow.
What is the last year that there was no quarterbacks selected in the first round of the NFL draft? Take a minute to think that over. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. every day right here on the tube. So the question of the day is this. What was the last year that there was no quarterbacks selected in the first round? What is your thought process? If you think that you might know it, if you have a guess, you might not. This could be tough. It's a specific, so it's difficult. Throw up a guess if you have it on the board. Mike, what is the thought process? The last time I can't even remember when that would have been.
I'm right there with Tyrone. Shit, I don't know.
Well, I'm trying 2023. Cody's saying 1969. I'll give you a hint. It's definitely between those 2 years.
I'm going to go with, because I'm terrible at like, oh yeah, this year was this draft class. This year, I'm terrible at that. Let's go with 1992.
92. And is this your final answer?
Final answer.
All right, let me lock you in. 1992. Not a bad pick, Mike. Mike is locked in. Somber with the best number available, 42069. And Cody says, Tortilla, your mom goes to Penn State. Robert, what's up, Robert? Great seeing you on the terrible board today, my friend. Always great seeing you. He says 2014, I guess. And again, the hint of the day was it's between 1969 and 2023. Mike says 1992. I guess I could give a better guess than that. All right, here's another hint. You guys ready?
Okay.
It was in the 90s. It was in the 90s. So if you want to make your guesses with that information, Mike picked 1992. He's locked in on that. But if you want to change your on the board, change your picks, it was in fact in the 90s. The last time there was a draft where no quarterback was taken in the first round. That is the question of the day. Tortilla says Cody's mom is on Tater's couch right now.
Oh, damn.
So I'll give you another minute or so, Mike. Question of the day. What was the last year there was no quarterbacks taken in the first round? Mike says 1992. My clue is it was in the 90s. You're in the right decade, Mike. So we'll give it just another moment. 1995, Cody is saying. Good pick. 96 is what Robert is saying on the board. Another good pick. Again, it was in the 90s. The 90s was the last time that there was not a quarterback selected in the first round. Tyrone says it was 1985. It was in the 90s. It was in the 90s. Ty, that was the hint. Tortilla says 1999. So I'm going to give Ty just another moment to get his guess up there. He's saying 1998. Perfect, my friend. All right, guys, this is the question and the answer of the draft question of the day here on our the last segment, I guess, as you would say here on the show. Guys, the question is, what was the last year that there was no quarterbacks selected in the first round? Mike says 92. I'm seeing 98, 99, 85, 96, 95. Corey says, I don't know the question, but I'm going to say 94. Fair enough. Mike knows the question, and he still gets it wrong. But just kidding. But he did get it wrong, Mike. The correct answer, of course, is my graduation year and the year that Derpy was born. The year that Derpy should have been the last time that Derpy touched his mom's vagina, but we don't know that. That should have been then, Mike. But 1996 was the last time that the Steelers, or I'm sorry, that no team picked a quarterback in the first round of the draft. It hasn't happened since then. 1996, 30 years ago from this draft.
That was the Meeshawn Johnson first overall.
Yeah.
The first quarterback taken.
Give me the damn ball. Give me the damn ball.
Right? Tony Banks was the first quarterback taken.
Yeah, Baltimore Ravens. He was a quarterback there for quite some time. And also, if you remember Keyshawn in that draft, give me the damn ball. It was real big on the front of ESPN magazine.
Yep.
And there was a picture of Keyshawn, and it said, "Get me the damn ball."
Wow. There are not a lot of good quarterbacks out of this draft. Jesus.
Ty says, fuck. Mark Malone says, Jeff George. He was a beast in his time, man. For a while, at least. But great job, guys. 1996. So let me just go back because one person did get that. I think it was Robert. Robert did say 1996. Congratulations, Robert.
Nice.
You didn't know that one. And everybody got really close, guys. So great job today. Again, keeping up with the draft questions here leading up to the draft. Just 23 days away till it is right here in Pittsburgh, PA. I know everybody's excited. A couple things before we do get ready to wrap things up, Mike. Ryan Clark was asked this. He was talking about, because he's involved in some MMA too. He does work with some of the MMA leagues in his broadcasting and analyst career, Mike. This is something that Ryan Clark says. He says these Pittsburgh Steelers, Mike, these former Steelers would be great in the MMA. He says Troy Polamalu. He says Troy would be great. He says Ike Taylor. He loves to fight more than anybody. He knows what he says about Ike Taylor. Rod Woodson, Bussy, also Mean Joe Green, or a couple other people he suggested, Mike. But James Harrison, number one. The reason being is James is legitimately the meanest person I know. According to Ryan Clark, that is what he says. James Harrison is literally the meanest person I know. And
James Harrison would be a beast in the women's division because that's who he likes to punch.
I got to be honest, man, woman, child, monster, animal, this guy, I wouldn't mess with James Harrison. I would not. I seen him lift things, Mike, that are heavier than you and I together. You ever watch him do his workouts? It's unreal.
I watch him, and I always comment on there. He can go after baby mama.
Well, that's fine and all, but the guy certainly is a very
he's
strong
beast.
guy.
He's a beast, but
Ty says, great show, you bastards. Here we go. We appreciate you as always, my friend. Ty on the terrible board. Troy's too nice, but he's probably got the fight of a fucking lion. You know what I mean? He gets in there. I'm sure Troy would probably do some damage. Tortilla says Will Howard is best MMA fighter in the world. Sommer says GP at middleweight might go crazy. And Ty says Troy would spear somebody and then do a cross, like pray for him.
He would too.
Any way you slice it, though, these half dozen Steelers would probably do very well in the MMA style fights. But there you go, Mike. A couple things before we do get ready to wrap it up for today. I do want to say this. So much going on. Again, the Pirates, they'll be back at it tonight in Game 2 against the Redlegs. That is in Cincinnati. It's a 6:40 start, Game 2 of 3. Bubba Chandler is on the hill. Pirates trying to get that second win of the season. And the Pittsburgh Penguins, Mike, on back-to-back nights, they have a game with the big 8-3 win over the Islanders. Back home tonight to host the Detroit Red Wings here in Pittsburgh. 7 o'clock start at PPG Arena, Mike. And also the Virginia Dream at Pittsburgh Riverhounds soccer game, the U.S. Open Cup game, the second round game, that is today at 7 o'clock as well. So make your way down to Highmark Stadium. You have the Penguins in town. You have the Riverhounds in town, and the Buccos, they're just in Cincinnati. So a lot of Pittsburgh action. And you know what happens when Pittsburgh plays sports, Mike? It makes you drink. And if you were out having a good time at the stadiums or just drinking, maybe with friends at a bar at home, do grab yourself some Duquesne Pilsner. Duquesne Pilsner, the folks there, Mike, they are fantastic people. We work with them hand in hand with a lot of things, and we look forward to working with them with a lot more. The people at Duquesne Pilsner make great beer. We always have it on tap here in the studio. Mike, made right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and it says on the can, grab a Duke.
Grab a Duke.
Also, what else do we got? Let me grab a couple messages here. Somber says and say, "Are you okay, buddy?" Right? You know who was Perfect? Perfect might be a good one, like old linebacker from Cincinnati.
Oh yeah, old CTE inducer.
Yeah, he'd probably be good.
He's a nut.
Go check us out on our social media, guys. You can keep up with what's going on with the Two Dum Yinzers on a day-to-day basis. Follow us on Facebook, X formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and even TikTok. You can keep up with what is going on with us there. Also, if you haven't had the chance, do hit the like button down below. If you would, hit the like, the sub, the share, even leave a comment. It all helps in the algorithm, guys. We appreciate it all greatly. Thank you so much. Mike, thoughts on today's show?
Oh, it's awesome to have RB on. Talk some draft.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, wide receivers. Let's get one. Let's get two. Let's not get any of the quarterbacks in this draft, please. For the love of all that is holy, no quarterbacks from this draft class, please. Yeah, it's a good show, man. I had a lot of fun, man. It's my favorite. It's my favorite time of the year.
I know it is. It is your favorite time.
I say that a lot, but it is. It is my favorite time of the year. I love this because you don't know what's going to happen. There's so many possibilities, and I like trying to work them out and game them out with people. The way they're going to think something's going to shake down, then finally see it shake down, then 3 years later find out if you were right or wrong. I just love that stuff.
Absolutely. I mean, there are things that I do love about the offseason. I love free agency. I like the draft. I just don't get in depth as like these other guys. Again, it's probably my attention deficit disorder.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, everybody's very, very knowledgeable, and I do pick their brains as much as I can this time of year. Mike, as the draft is coming, and we'll be gone in 26 days. Unbelievable when you look at it that way. Also, Tortilla says Carson Beck is outside your window. Oh, come on.
That's fucking I'm not looking.
Somber says Beck is in the middle of two windows looking at the both of them. What else? Again, Mike, maybe the Gooners. Maybe the Gooners are coming back, which I look forward to. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Finch in the Three Gooners show. Mike, Tim, hilarious. I love
he's great.
I love him. He makes me laugh so hard. So hopefully that does come to fruition. I do know, again, at the end of the day, as Finch said, his work situation is now allowing him to be more available during the afternoon, which means on Fridays we're going to start seeing Finch more regularly. And then again, the Gooner show, I think there's rumors that it might be starting up. So again, give the guys a watch. If they do that, we'll certainly keep everybody posted. Anything else, Mike? Again, tomorrow's hump day already. And once we come back from hump day, we're going to literally be 3 weeks away from the NFL draft. Unbelievable.
It's flying up on us, boys. It's going to be here, before we know it. I'm here for it. I love it, and I am looking for. I hope the Gooners can come back because, like you said, man, that those boys were great together.
Tim makes me laugh.
I laughed so fucking hard.
Yeah. Somber says, take care, gentlemen. Always great show. We appreciate you, Somber, as well, my friend. We hope to see everybody back tomorrow at our regular time. But first, before we do go, I do want to say thank you, everybody, for coming and hanging out and checking us out today. We certainly appreciate each and every one of you. We truly, honestly do. We wouldn't do this without you guys and gals. Thank you so much. I want to say thank you, everybody on the board. You guys always keep things interesting here on the show, as you are the lifeblood of this show. We couldn't appreciate you anymore. We thank you so much. Us here at the Two Dum Yinzers, just everybody that participates on the board, and again, you really become, you're making the show happen. And again, it's top tier blood, lifeblood of the show. We appreciate you. Again, I say it all the time, but I do mean it all the time. I not only do it here, I talk about it off the air as well. Mike can vouch for that, guys. You guys are amazing, and also everybody that's at home, maybe listening in the car, in the gym, at work, guys. Thank you too, guys. It all helps, and we appreciate each and every single person that is involved. There's nothing more. That is the biggest thing that I can say during one of these shows, is show my gratitude for everybody. So, guys, I want to say thank you, Mike. Again, 21 days out. I'm excited. Everybody's excited. People are going to be coming into town. I don't know, again, how things are going to play out. There's going to be a million people, damn near. But again, any way you slice it, the NFL draft will be here in 3 weeks. So we'll be back tomorrow at our regular time to do it all over again. We'll talk a little bit about that Pirates Reds. We'll talk a little bit about the Penguins and Red Wings. Also, Mike, the Hounds and their big tournament game. And then all the Steelers information that we could scoop up and scrape up. Everything tomorrow when we return. I think this is everything, Mike. Am I forgetting anything?
I think we got it all, brother. Man, this was a hell of a show. And like you said, the board, you guys are amazing.
I can't express it enough. And I do want to say again, big thank you to RB. I do expect RB will be back a couple times throughout the rest of the week. And again, Finchy on Friday. If we could even sneak a derpy in at some point during the week, that'd be fantastic. So we'll see how that all looks as we do continue on. But we'll be back tomorrow on Wednesday for our regular time. Mike, speak now, forever hold your peace. Throwing it back to you, brother. All right, so for RB, for Chop, for Finch, for Derpy, Mike, myself, the two Dum Yinzers, everybody have a great Tuesday. Stay safe, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.